Yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome. We are in person doing this live. This new episode 167 of Bridge the Gap. We have 7:30 from Regulators in here. This is the first in-person one we've really done in a hot minute. You can tell by my lack of real setup in here.
Nah, it's dope though. It's dope. Yeah. It's real. It's natural. You know what I mean?
Nah, I like it a lot. I realize one day we'll get the not at home studio, but for now we're rolling it in here. It is natural as vibes. What we need. And it's super great to have y'all here with us. I know, like a lot of y'all, you're curious about 730. You're curious about the man. If you're like me, he just appeared on the scene one day. He probably gave you some clothing / sold you some clothing. Was out there. Next thing you knew, everybody around is wearing this Regulators brand. You're like, what's going on with this? Where did this come from?
You know it.
How did this even happen? And the next thing you know, the music starts happening. They start getting on these stages, dominating and all this. And arguably, if you Google 730 or Regulators, there's not a lot of results because they're not the easiest terms to filter through the internet on.
If you do Google Vilda Regulators, we do pop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard.
Because that's where the city is. We regulate the whole city. You know what I mean? Vilda Regulators. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that. So basically, we like to go through the life stories of people over here, and we do have a proper opening question to start the tone. But in order for that to make sense, what we need to know is where you start your life as the youngest version of you that you can remember.
For me to remember, I could say St. Henry. You know what I mean? 3 years old.
So you were born in Montreal.
Definitely born in Montreal.
All right. So St. Henry-ish area, cool. And that's going to make sense with this opening question. So it's a bit of a story, and it starts off with my girl Bonnie. She'd be washing the dishes one time, and she got her phone open, and she's playing that Black Eyed Peas song. I got a feeling. She's vibing.
Okay.
She's dancing. And I'm looking at her like, when in the fuck did this song become chorus music?
Okay.
Because if you think about this track and run it back to 2010, it's that middle of the night banger. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's having a wonderful time.
We're all celebrating. Popping pills.
That was less my life, but you're the first person to say that.
2010, popping pills.
He was out there
having life like a youngin'.
10 years, 11 years goes by. This song now becomes that kind of track that you put on when you're washing dishes or you at the gym or something and you're trying to go back to those glory days while accepting the current days that we in right now.
I ain't going back to those days, but yeah, I hear you.
You get what I'm saying? Everybody's got a unique story.
All right.
So, but with that, it's the song doesn't change at all, right? The song stays the same.
Oh, it got a hit.
And we, though, change so much in life that when we hear the song, its place in our life evolves with us, which got me thinking about the journey of music and stuff. You got all these young ones running around bumping drill. They don't know that they're washing dishes to drill in 15 years. They don't know that that's their future. And
technically speaking.
And then they did that. And it got me thinking about interviews and stuff. When you talk to most rappers or most artists and you see how most of this plays out, everybody seems to be 11 years old when they first start writing rhymes and there's nothing that ever happened in their life before. There's no music. There's no nothing. And that makes no sense to me because I can remember being super young or, being 5 years old up in the crib in Cote St. Luc. My dad's got the great boxes, the amp, the preamp, the tape deck, the radio, all that.
The whole
with
setup.
the whole surround sound all around the room.
But does he still have the screens on the speaker or does he have the screens off? Does he want to hear that thump? Or does he
I think he had the screens on. I think we had limits. We had limits.
Yeah, we wanted the screens
living in the apartment. He did as much as he was allowed. I do know that he put crazy money into getting the loudest motherfuckers that he could get at. He would find dudes that were moving him on the low, all that shit. But I remember vividly at the Led Zeppelins and all of that kind of shit. That was the daytime. The Krista Bergs. It's over here. The Krista Bergs, all that shit. Then at the nighttime, it was all that EDMs, the technos, all the stuff that got played over the radio. My mom, she had discos and musicals and all of this other kinds of vibes and shit. Just different vibes for different times of day and different sounds. But what was important is that I chose none of it, but I listened to all of it because I was 5 years old.
Oh, so big difference for me.
That's why we start this. We wanted to run it back to you being the youngest 730 you could remember being, and tell us a little bit what it sounded like to be you.
Well, definitely Kool in the Gang, you know what I mean? Curtis Blow. My parents is hip hop heads, right? my parents is hip hop heads, disco heads. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to dance, so it's like early on. You know what I mean? Like yeah, for real. Curtis Blow, Kool and the Gang, Flash and Furious 5. You know what I mean? Like I was on the hip hop early. You know what I mean?
They like busting out the vinyls and all that tape decks?
Vinyl tape. Yeah, I was born '84, so me born '84. I've had you know what I mean, the origins to it right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. You know what I mean? So like when it jumped to CDs, like, oh man, I remember like Bust the CD. You know what I mean? Right? Oh, my dad would kill that. And then like fast forward a couple years past that, the Slim Shady CD. My dad would kill that. You know what I mean? Like, so I went through the eras of it.
You were just allowed to listen to everything. Yo, what's up, Gene? It's good to see you here.
Definitely. There's a whole bunch of Pink Floyd. There's Supertramp. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's like all kinds of music.
Everything. Diana Ross. Anything you could think of. Michael Jackson. Jackson 5. All that. You know what I mean?
Like your parents would be playing this all the time?
Yeah. So, and then like, okay, so now Sunday's cleanup day. Like how you say about chores. Psst, you don't know what my parents are about to put on. Bob Marley. You know what I mean? You can have anything. It's what they decided for the week. It wasn't my choice.
Right.
But now I appreciate it because I can listen to anything now. You know what I mean? And I actually growing up, I could listen to anything. I'm an Oasis fan. You know what I mean? Green Day. You know what I mean? I like certain music because my parents play certain music.
So like when you were young, were you like kind of forming a bit of a musical identity? Were you singing or dancing or anything like that going on?
I was fully into hip hop. So anything hip hop.
Were you rapping along at like 5,
Rapping,
6?
Graffiti. You know, even if I was just drawing it was still graffiti. And then when I was able to get my first can, I actually went to Canadian Tire with stolen Canadian Tire money to buy my first black and whites.
So this is like, okay, so this is like when you were a kid.
I was like 9, 10 years old, 11 years old.
But like when you were younger than that, did you have like aspirations of drawing? Like when you were,
definitely. I've been hip hop my whole life. Were
you into the video games and stuff too?
Video games, that's one thing I like. I stayed away from. Mind you, I wasn't too good anyways.
Fair.
I wasn't too good. I got my ass kicked. I was playing against my brother and all that day. You know when your brothers and all that just whoop you out? So yeah. I said, all right, cool. Matter of fact, my parents are video heads. They were on the Nintendo and the N64 and all that. And the you know what I mean? And they'll whoop you out. You can't stay on the game because they just won. So that's the rules, right? If you lost, you got... My parents are... It's not like my parents is old heads. My parents was like growing up.
I relate to that. My dad, that's how I got into video games was my dad because I'm 3 years younger than you. So
okay.
Like, with that, it's like, you know, the NES was there. Like I remember them playing Tetris tournaments. I could be like, I was maybe 3 years old. Tetris tournaments, the same kind of like fucking...
Could you turn the TV off though? You know, the game was still running, but the TV was turned off.
Yeah.
Would you get in trouble if you turned the game
God,
off?
Yo, my dad would be playing these games.
Well, you get whooped.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
I
get
feel like
whooped.
the dog would run by and kick the fucking adapter or something.
Mario 3?
All of them.
Mario 3, when they're on the level joint, if you turned that game off, don't turn the game off.
It's like that.
Yeah.
I forgot. That's the pre-save files in case y'all didn't know. You have to beat the game one shot or it's done.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that game
definitely
stays on.
It's absolutely a
that
bunch
one
of
TV.
Yeah, I remember it was
that
they had this McDonald's game, and my dad literally stayed up like 12 hours, didn't beat this shit, left it on like another 12 hours.
That's
so this shit's running like 24 hours. Then came back the next day and beat the shit.
Imagine getting paid whatever they're getting paid by hour and just running up the hydro, just keeping that joint running. You know what I mean? Think about that one, right? All right.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
So you were like out there obsessed with the music. Were you dancing back then?
I was into breakdancing in high school.
Okay.
Definitely I was into breakdancing. But dancing is just part of the whole vibe. You know what I mean? I didn't really get too crazy with it.
To this day, there's a whole bunch of them that never started to learn even a two-step.
No. I got rhythm. You know what I mean? I got rhythm. But when we're talking about like really getting like, you see like how you and shout out Chris Chrome, you know what I mean? You guys are out there getting sturdy. Like you said, lose weight, motherfucker, lose weight.
Yeah.
All that shit, that's exercise. That going down, that clapping, that's all exercise, B.
That's it.
It's called calisthenics.
That's a fact.
That's what it is. You guys getting busy with your own body weight. You know what I mean?
That's what
I salute you guys. Can I do it now? Probably not. You know what I mean? I probably won't get as busy.
It takes a minute of. I did spend a good year on my knees before I started to get this, like squats and shit. Like I spent a year doing squats and shit just to build up the like strength because like you fuck up your knees one time, it's done.
Tell me about it.
So like you got into the graph and shit before the music, like before rapping?
Graffiti, yeah, definitely. Graffiti's been a love of my life, all of my life, basically. You know what I mean?
And that came from like you saw it around you, or was it like?
No, that was more or less like that was my gift. I could draw. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I could really get busy. So like at one point I was like really getting busy, like characters and all that. And then like by the time I got back here at 15.
Where'd you go?
Well, I lived in Toronto for 8 years.
Okay,
right.
So you were a young one here to Place Area, then you moved to Toronto.
Yeah, I moved to Toronto for like 8 years, and then.
So you get into hip hop and shit like for real out there.
Yeah, like even out there, that's my breakdancing was in Toronto.
Okay.
I wasn't doing no breaking in Montreal. Like that was like, with all the Filipinos, like shout out all the Filipinos that get busy. You know what I mean? Shout out St. Patrick's High School, O'Connor, Neil McNeil. You know what I mean? Like, there were some breakers out there. They was getting busy. Scarborough Town Center. At Scarborough Town Center, they had, like, the youth center. It was, like, right off the Champs. We used to go get busy over there. You know what I mean? And, like...
Do you think, like, being in Toronto versus being in Montreal had an impact on a lot of your being able to get into the scene? Because I know during, like, the 2000s, like the English scene here is like kind of struggling to get its footing and shit.
Well,
whereas over there, there's just the English scene.
Nah, not really. Like basically, when we was rapping with RBR, we had no problem breaking any ground. We rapped, we had a heat, we let it out. That was it. You know what I mean? And that was 2006, 2005, right. 2007. You know what I mean? So like, it hasn't been an issue. Like, if you got the heat, it's going to bust, basically. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see you.
So, when I was in Toronto, it was the dancing, break dancing, you know what I mean? Doing that vibe, the graffiti. Because, like, as you go to Scarborough Town Center, as you go to Scarborough Town Center, you're on the RT, on the RT, or RTR, RT train, whatever they call it. And all you see is graffiti along the way.
So you're just like seduced by this every single day.
Yeah, not every single day, but like we hit up there like every Friday or whatever the case is, right? And then like I keep seeing it. So like I go home, I just try to put up my own pieces, you know what I mean? In a book.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like then, like I said, go get Canadian Tire money. You know what I mean? Go to Canadian Tire, bow, you get 2 cans, one black, one white. You try to do some little bullshit piece in the hood. You know what I mean? And that's how it starts.
You're like 9-10 years old getting into it like that.
Yeah.
That's wild. And you were afraid of getting caught or any of that?
Not really getting caught. It was more or less a thrill of just doing it. And walking past it every day and saying, I did that.
And were you like anonymous with it, or were you like telling people?
Nah, I wouldn't tell nobody. It's strictly anonymous, but it was for self. You know what I mean? Right. So now like...
Well, can you tell us what your first tag was and all that?
Probably not in Toronto. I probably couldn't even remember.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I probably couldn't even remember. But when I got down here, I want to keep that anonymous because
that's why. So I learned like the other day. Oh, this is a question where you have to be like, "Can you tell us?" Because unfortunately,
exactly.
And if that shit's still up, and somebody got that one picture, and
I won't give up my name here. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I won't give up my name here, but I was definitely going hard here. You know what I mean? And shout out all the dudes. You know what I mean? They know who I am. They know I was going hard. And I love the fact that 20 years later, some of them cats is still going hard. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I was always like afraid of that world. I mean, it's not necessarily like, okay. Like,
if you could drink on the roads, you could go tag up a spot. That's how I feel. Yo,
I'm not like, it took a long time in life to get to that place for me. I was a shyer, quieter type, social life is whatever. You're meeting like the mid-30s
it's the same ticket, right? Drinking in the roads and getting a tag is the same ticket.
Say word.
Word.
That's not that bad of a charge.
You know what I mean? It's just a ticket. It's not a charge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless you do government building or whatever case is.
Okay, so you just have to, like, if you just hit your, like, local random building.
Yeah, it's just the same ticket as whatever. You know what I mean?
I did not know that. Not that I'm encouraging y'all to go out there and cash
a
ticket. But
not catch a ticket, but go tag a bitch up.
I realized I do not have a good hand style. Like, I actually faced that when I looked at the make-way wall the other day and said, oh, shit, I have to write my name on the wall next to, like, and you could see it. There's the guys like me who just wrote their name, and the guys who got style to write it. Like,
I think it was you or Chris that posted the funk.
The which one?
The funk.
I posted that.
Yeah, you posted it. Yeah, I seen
just
that.
happened to see that the other day. I'm like, yo, I like it because it's all by itself, all the way down on the make way
on the long way,
but like nothing else is next to it. Yeah, so I like that.
I love
it. He deserved that.
Yo, shout out Funk.
Yo, Funk Glow is amazing.
Word. If it ain't Funk Glow, you a dumb hoe.
So like you be doing all of that out in Toronto. Did you ever like do all like the train stuffs and all that kind of like anything like go into the subway tunnels? Or
no, I never. To tell you the truth, even when I got here, I never did none of that.
All right, so just strictly did you ever do any of the acrobatics where like you climbing up to the super high stuff?
No, yo, I'm seeing people do some wild shit. Look, I got a fear for heights, so I'm not propelling off anything. Fair. You know what I mean? But go wild, yo. Me and Jimmy, yo. Oh man, sorry, I had to blast one name, but me and Jimmy, West Side, you know what I mean, St. Henry, we used to go hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
We used to go hard, and like that was my guy. That is still my guy. You know what I mean? And like,
shout out Jimmy.
We did it. You know what I mean? West Side English. You know what I mean? People didn't expect us to do it, but we did it. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I feel like it's a fascinating world. Like I got curious about it and then realized it's not the easiest thing to find out a lot of info on, but it's the most fascinating subculture. And then when you do start looking at tags in strange locations and you're left with the perplexing, how in the fuck did Buddy get there? Like you assume maybe there was a ladder there once upon a time. Maybe not. I don't know. Some of these tags be in some strange locations.
They be in some spots I ain't giving up the secret.
Nah,
what
that's fair.
What I can say is, man, they got my salute. You know what I mean? They got my salute because I'd be up there shaking nuts. I'd be up there, word. No, I can't do it. Yo, look, when we was kids, we grew up in St. Henry. So obviously the Stylos, you know what I mean? That's right there in St. Henry. We went up in there. When we see the rats and the raccoons and skunks all in there, because they live in there. You know what I'm saying? So when you want to get to the top, you got to pass through all of that. And then they got stairs with missing steps. And then like back then, this is 2002, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
2000 even. You know what I'm saying? They had missing steps back then that was eroded. You know what I mean? The steel was gone. So how do you climb up from that next level? Because there's always a next level to get to. So over the years, they had to erode more, no?
Yeah, these mans must have been parkour experts.
My guy, whatever they're doing, salute.
Yeah, respect that. Honestly, that's the part of it where it's like crazy for me is to see this, like the athleticism. Like it's a whole world. And
hip hop's a sport.
Then you don't really meet the people because
graffiti's part of it.
The graffiti part of it is the only part where nobody's talking. It's truly the only part of hip hop where nobody says a word, really.
And if you're paying for your paint, you ain't a graffiti artist if you don't rack it.
Is that like a real thing? Because like I've heard that before.
Yeah,
bro,
man.
Come on, do I look like I ever?
My guy,
paint?
Look, I rack paint or I racked the Canadian Tire money to get it.
I don't think that's hilarious.
You heard me. You know what I mean? I'm out here in the roads, really. You know
I don't even know you rack Canadian Tire money, but I respect it,
bro. People was collecting that like it was fucking gold. You take a bundle of that, go buy a box of paint. You mean $12? Yeah. Back then, we're talking about back then. It was 99 cents a can back then. That's what you don't realize.
How much does it cost now?
I haven't been out recently, but back then it was 99 cents a can.
That's crazy.
Word. Think about that.
So you was running all. That's like your high school life. You breakdancing. You ever do competitions or anything like that, or was it more just like for the sake?
No, I didn't like competitions. Like you see, in Toronto, we pull up at like Main Station, Victoria Park Station. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'd battle there. You know what I mean? Like there's battles going on.
Like, but this is more like the street battle version.
Street battle, like because we was watching Beat Street and Wild Style and like all these certain movies. So essentially, we want to emulate that. Right? So now, like, we're meeting up in metro stations and, like, we're all from different schools or whatnot. And, like, we just get busy. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, one time, we was getting busy in Victoria Park Station. And I just walked through. And as I walked through, I got robbed.
Oh, that's no fun.
It's not no, you know what I mean? But it's life. You know what I mean? I got robbed by, like, 5 older dudes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, it does be like that sometimes.
It be like that sometimes because it's part of the life. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think I've only really been robbed twice. I thought about this recently in Montreal. One time I pulled out a bag. It was a Ziploc and it had about 1 gram in it. But all these guys saw was a Ziploc with weed, and then I lit up in the middle of Fairview. I did not have that weed for much longer. It was
shit gets reckless, especially
thankfully,
like
they did not recognize the value of school books, because had they understood what the value of a school book was, my bag was gone. But they just saw books and let it go.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Back then, the Jansport was 70 bones. Just taking the Jansport was some bread. You know what I mean? Fuck the books.
But yeah, no. And then the other time was some random shit where these guys just took $10 off me in the middle of a park. I'm like,
you know what? I was a shitty dude. You know what I mean? I was a shitty dude. So not to say I took dudes for $10, but there's times I got
MCO saying y'all got robbed twice. Only lucky y'all. If you grew up in Brazil, it would have been like twice a week, Lil.
That's crazy, B.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's only happened. Like, back at Wager, they used to jack my bus pass a lot.
Oh fuck, Wager days.
Yeah, Wager. I was the last grad class of Wager ever. Back at Wager, okay, that happened. But I'm saying, like, in the street shit, it's only ever happened twice. I feel a little fortunate. We're not trying to change that.
Well, you know, street shit happens. I won't talk on no street shit, but I'm talking about high school little bullshit. Yeah, that's why I brought that up. That was just some high school. I'm not going to speak on no street shit.
Yeah, no.
I will talk on some about like little high school shit like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, no, the street shit, I try to avoid it in general because I seen what DJ Vlad is, and nobody want to be DJ Vlad in my opinion.
I mean, he's rich. Why wouldn't you want to be him?
Yo, because there's ways.
He's rich. He's not minding. He's minding his business while minding your business.
He's not. He
like, do you understand that though?
So I kind of.
He's doing his job, B.
Yeah, but DJ Vlad is a
right
guy.
Now you're interviewing me. If you ask me a question and I decide not to answer,
that's fair.
Then I decide not to answer.
But you're also, and I'm gonna just counter that with, you clearly know the difference between what you should say on camera and what you should not, and most people don't. And I do believe you praise on that.
No, well, that's just the codes of it.
I mean, it's fair, but. You know,
well, shout out Jimmy D. I already, you know what I mean? I name drop one, you know what I mean? But Jimmy D's my guy. We go back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We go back.
But I just think it's like not worth like bringing that much attention to the criminality of people. Like, unless you're doing it. Because he does it exploitively for the cash, which I find like, yo, I would rather not be rich and not do that than be rich and be rich because I'm that white dude doing that. In hip hop.
Well, no, hold on. It don't matter if you're the white dude, the yellow dude, the black dude, the fucking
that's fair.
The peach dude. It don't make no difference. Exploiting someone is not right. You know what I mean? Talking to people while they're on pills and and you can obviously see they ain't in the right mind. You don't do that.
No.
You don't do that. But he's getting his, you know what I mean? He's a journalist. He gets his bag. How much more can you say? If people want to answer his questions.
That's fair.
Right? Like you just said, I have the right to choose what I want to speak on, right?
However, I can still control the spin my platform provides, right? Like the other part of it is who's the audience and what is the audience then consuming? And when we start to look at the impact of focusing on certain parts of it at the bigger culture, yo, it has an impact. It's not like these types of things don't make a bunch of, let's call it for what it is, middle-class white teenagers think hip-hop be a certain way entirely because they'd be seeing DJ Vlad interviews, but they're not also seeing the Power California radio equivalent of Breakfast Club. Like, they don't see all the other shit. It just gets to be the tabloidy shit.
Very true.
So I think that if we're in these positions and we care about the culture, then we have to take that ethical responsibility once we've seen the impact of it. I'm not going to say originally what he did, fine, but at a certain point, you become aware of the impact and you choose to keep going.
My man, then we got to hold CNN.
I do.
We got to
I
hold.
do personally.
There's
in
a
my
lot
soul.
of big stations at that point.
Billionaires own all these fucking things. The entire media system's controlled by billionaires
at that point,
for now.
Right?
That's
at
why
that point, like, he's at the lower end. I'm telling you right now.
Facts.
He's at the lower end. You know what I mean? If you thought you were at the lower end, my God,
Bro,
it gets way lower. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's be real, though. This is real spit.
No,
you know?
I like it.
And there's people who's billionaires, and he's just getting trickled down off the trillionaires.
And like,
you know
low key,
I mean?
that's all we, honestly, in the music game, 9 times out of 10, what you're trying to do is find the equivalent of a sugar daddy to finance your shit.
There you go.
If you're being real about it, that's what a label is.
I like that. I like that breakdown.
I got that from Lush One.
Where?
Yeah, Lush One was telling us that's how he's doing things. He's like, you find the rich guy, then the rich guy, you pitch the idea. Because, rich guys...
I can relate to that one.
Not all the rich guys want to have, like, the little biddies. Sometimes the rich guy want to go party with rappers.
No,
sometimes the rich guy...
He want a party where it's popping.
You want to be part of it.
Period. So if it's popping with dope dealers, he's partying with dope dealers. If it's popping with basketball players, he's popping with basketball.
Facts.
You know what I mean? He's out where it's popping.
And for him, because sometimes they be buying art, but sometimes they be throwing concerts. And so it's really just, we're all
it's
trying
not
to...
even them buying artists, their wives. Trust me, I move them, and they're all complaining. I'm a mover by profession, so I be moving all these millionaires, right? And they're complaining, my wife just bought another fucking piece, right? They hate it.
That's fair, but a few of them though do get into it for the asset collection and the capital gains taxes and
maybe
bunch
just
of other
a shaking
shit.
hand purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just shaking hands sometimes. Sometimes when you're shaking a hand, you don't know what. You know what I mean? You just be quiet, you watch. You know what I mean? But you just shook this hand that brought you into another element, right?
Facts. Yeah, so I just see it like that. You find yourself a sugar daddy that believes in your career. And boom, you move forward with it. And, you think about a festival.
On no sucker shit.
Yeah, no, on some legitimate, you put out your art. Think back to, Michelangelo and them. That's all they did. They found patrons of the art, and the patrons paid for the art. And that's how art kind of worked pretty much forever and ever in history. Anyway. So you're doing all that in high school. At what point do you, start to develop more of an interest for, music?
Oh, music was, like I said, it's the whole time.
So you were rapping the whole time?
So I grew up in a neighborhood called Parma Court.
Is it in Toronto?
Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? This is on the VP line. I grew up there with Blitz, Hush. Hush is like OVO or whatever, you know what I mean? But at the time, we were just, in the hood. You know what I mean? My first track ever recorded was at his house with him and Blitz, and he set up his little home mic. You know what I mean? He had the computer stuff. No one had
it. The 2000 era or 90s.
No. This is 98.
Damn, that's some having access to a mic is a rare blessing.
Word,
type thing.
Yeah, exactly. He had and it's just that little stem one. But he put it up with a little screen, and he had it set up with one of those little Jamaican statues that's usually holding a spliff or something. But he set it up where that was the mic.
That's hard.
And we was in there, we was rapping on the joint. You know what I mean? And boom, I went through whatever I went through to get me sent back here. You know what I mean? And him and my next homie Tech, they just went on their own run. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they pulled in the next homie. Kind of in my replacement, but no shade to him because I wasn't there. I was in Montreal now, right?
Yeah.
I caught my case. I got sent back here. I was, you know what I mean?
Dealing with what you had to deal with.
I had to deal with what I had to deal with. They dealt with what they had to deal with, and their music burnt the city. You know what I mean?
That's hard.
Deep Pockets. Yo, check it out. You know what I mean? It's all online. You know what I mean? You could check it all out. You know what I mean? And they burnt the city. You know what I mean? They made tracks with D Brown. They was just rolling around doing their thing. I missed out. You know what I mean? I missed out. I was here. But I didn't miss out on nothing because I got my life. You know what I mean? I got a life. I got my kids. I got everything I got. is here in the city. So I can't say I missed out what I missed out there because
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, though. I agree with you. Your life went the way it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But not many of us can be like, by sheer chance, I would have been in the rap group that popped off, and I wasn't on some... Like, that is...
No, it was citywide. It was doing this thing.
That's hard. I mean? Like, you know, like, I could get why you might feel like you missed out, but it's good that you...
Nah, but when I got here, you know what I mean? I was doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. RBR popped off. You know what I mean? We was running around the city for a couple years doing our
Magnum's
thing.
people, right? Or...
Yeah, no, Magnum affiliated, definitely. But Magnum wasn't RBR. You know what I mean?
RBR, I heard. That's iBlast people.
iBlast was definitely part of RBR. You know what I mean?
Right.
Young Jedi, Young Choppa. You know what I mean? We had a conglomerate. Peso, Jimmy D. You know what I mean? Like, it was big. It had Nasty Ness. You know what I mean?
I'm not aware of the impact of it all.
Mm-hmm.
The mixtape. I know I heard the second mixtape in Basics' car the other day.
Anytime you want the music, I got it for you.
I want all the music, to be honest.
I got it for you.
Yo, because that's the kind of shit where, like, you know what really needs to happen, in my opinion? Is we go through and do some album reviews on that shit and really, like, bring some attention to this era.
Mind you, we was jacking beats back then, right?
That's fine.
We was jacking beats. Okay. It was the whole mixtape era. We was jacking beats. But we was going in. We gave it our own flavor from Montreal. Like, you know what I mean?
iBlast in particular is one of the only guys who in, like, 2012 will say around then, I heard his music being played by, like, girls and shit around. Just it was like, yo, this guy's from Montreal. You gotta hear. I don't really see that like that very often.
That's pretty dope.
But like,
iBlast got like, salute iBlast. You know what I mean?
What?
Salute Blicky. You know what I mean?
I guess Blicky now.
Because he's Blicky right now. You know what I mean?
I got introduced as iBlast. I know he became Blicky. I know he's still out there doing his thing. Every now and again, it comes up. We go bump a few Blicky tracks. But,
you know.
Yo, no, that whole era, like, I got put on to all the freestyles, that whole wave of shit, because it was right before I started rapping.
Definitely.
It was right before it.
You know, a lot of people say RBR is, like, their bridge to Montreal rap, which I could dig that, because if you're born a certain year, that's going to be your generation rap. You know what I mean? Magnum. You know what I mean? RBR. Tech Luch. You know what I mean? Like, people's getting it busy. Especially them times, crazy. It was, yo, out the bag and selling our own tapes. Printing our own tapes, selling our own tapes.
Yeah, that's the part that's wild to me. So, like, because, yo, what happens is we come in and it's all internet numbers from that point on. And what I learned is none of y'all mixtape numbers are on the internet. So y'all was making real bread on shit. Really, like,
I'm not trying to expose nobody's bread or nothing. I wasn't pocket watching, but I know people was doing numbers.
But I'm not trying to, again, it's not for that perspective. It's more to, like, because, yo, sometimes some of the old school cats struggle with Spotify number monies because they was making 5 racks off of a press, whereas I be bragging about $500 because of some streaming. Granted, I hit play and let it go, but, like,
yeah, it's big.
It's completely different.
Like,
and then, like, we don't know about all of that shit. I think when I say we, I mean the people like me who really don't come from that. Came into this and don't know, which is a lot of what I believe is now here, because how could people know? It was like 10 years ago and shit.
Well, the thing is, right? Like I said, I'm a hip hop head from the jump.
Right.
So my parents broke me into this shit. You know what I mean? Yo, big shout out Mike Shabb. Why? Because his dad broke him into this shit.
Say word.
Yeah, like if you understand the story of the young man, his father broke him into his shit, so he knows music like you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That.
Like word, and like, that's why he can produce himself.
I'm a big fan of Mike Shabb. Like,
word.
I know
salute Mike Shabb.
He said he'd be down to do the show at one point, and then I'll get his story. But I do know that I think Mike Shabb is as special as the people who say he's good is, because you can hear it in the musicality of what he produces.
My guy.
A lot of people focus too much on the bars, which, listen, I get the bars thing, but that's one element.
Control of the crowd.
Yo, I watched him run on stage, fucking masked up and shit. It's fucking crazy what he can do to a crowd.
I watched the whole crowd do his whole track, and he only did his ad-libs. You understand?
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope work. You know what I mean?
I agree. I'm with that shit, man.
Dog.
Bro, he's got joints where, like, dead ass, I was in the middle of a conversation and that Disco Duck song came on, and that's my fucking jam. I just
$59.95.
shut the fuck up and had to run into the crowd and shit. The kids is laughing at me because I'm old as fuck in the crowd with them because he got a young crowd.
If they understand the vibe, though. You know what I mean?
Yo, I like that they're mosh pit. Everyone's moshing again. I'm like, shit, it reminds me of high school.
I came from that. I'm a skater. You know what I mean?
I was on to that punk and shit in high school.
Yeah, dog. Like I told you, Green Day, Oasis.
I'm with you.
Like, give me a skateboard. I'm going to try a 1-2. I got a bad back and all, some bad knees. But hear what? Give me a skateboard and I feel like I'm young again. You know what I mean? Word.
So, like, you came back to Montreal and you linked up with RBR then?
When I came back to Montreal, I was 15.
Okay,
right?
so you were like...
When I was 15.
So you had already made music at 15?
I've already recorded music already.
That's crazy. That's a flex.
Yeah, in a sense.
No, because if you're doing it before like say 08 is when tech gets like, now, okay, a lot of people have it.
I told you, I already did it on just a little.
So that's what I'm saying. People who did it, I've done a lot of these interviews. That's a flex. I've also recorded
at like at Price's house way back in the day with
like Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Say word.
Way back in the day in DG, right?
That's
at his mom's spot on Sherbrooke. Word. And it was just like basically the same setup. You know what I mean? It was just like a little mic setup. It wasn't the best mic. Like, it was just off his little computer joint. And we was like, just like 2001 joints.
Yeah,
2002.
I wonder if some of your shit's on his SoundClick and some of these freestyles might be one of your joints.
Probably not. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, I don't watch No Face.
Nah, I hear you.
I'm not watching No Face. I just know, like, I've been around. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I've been around. I've just been moving around, doing my thing. Tapping in with
not
everybody.
A lot of people could be like, I recorded at Vincent Price's crib back in the day.
Probably not. But again, Peso got me that plug. Peso brought me there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Peso's another one of them dudes who's like mad interesting.
Oh, that's my guy. You know what I mean? That's my guy. If you want bars and structures and how to set a track, talk to this guy. You know what I mean? Word.
I like his music. No, I like his last few drops. I started paying because, I met him. I stepped on his shoes and bumped into him, which is a bad first impression.
His shoes probably cost about 400 to 1,000.
Super bad. I was
like, wow.
And then post that, like, I don't know. We chopped it up recently. Yeah. I feel like we on good terms. Like
he's a good guy. You know what I mean? He always
I like his music, but dead ass. I like his music. Like I was listening to it. I saw his live performance. I'm like, nah, this dude be like, actually, like, he don't care level of rapping good. Like when he just, not like he don't care like about the skill, but he don't care what you think. He just says what he gotta say.
Because rapping's a sport, right? Because rapping's a sport. So if you don't got that verbal lung, you know what I mean? That verbal lung, like, and he goes off the verbal lung, like he want to go at you.
Yo, I feel that.
And he wasn't even going at you, but you think that. It's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good energy.
Yeah, definitely it's a good energy. It makes you want to be a better artist.
Yeah. He's like, in like 2 minutes, he was able to pack in a powerful, like, and then you want to go back and listen to it again. And then you want to go back and run it again. I don't say, like, look, I'm not just saying that because I think Peso may watch. He may not. I don't really care. I'm saying that because y'all should go bump the man shit. And I see he's making moves now. And it's like, I like to give love.
Moves. He's subtle, though. He's subtle. He's so subtle with it that it's like, you know what I mean? It's people who make the subtle hits, eventually they're going to have their big shine.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? Subtle. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But always been the name in the city, undeniably.
So that's the thing. For me, it's like somewhere around 2020, I realized how little I know. And it's like bad level of, like, it's super some cringe level of arrogance I'm portraying.
On West Side English?
Just I don't know nothing. So I started rapping in 2012. I know that little circuit I was part of with Meyer Clarity and them. We was running around doing our thing. Meyer leaves. CY shows start happening. I'm like, I don't want to do these 10-minute sets. So, slowly and surely I stop performing. Then I start podcasting. I'm in my own bubble. I'm not part of, like, I'm making music. I'm doing things. But, like, if it ever comes to a point of the history of Montreal, knowing anything, that's like the reason this show is what it is because I talked to Preach on Kobia one time, And it took him 2 hours to walk me through 96 to 99. I still have the OneNote page somewhere. I now know most of the names on it, but bro, I didn't know nothing. It was like name after name. I'm like, who the fuck are these people? So I'm like in that era of people who walk in. I didn't know Rico Blocks existed. I don't know all these people existed, and then we're coming.
Babies, the fucking
none of it.
Roy Heat,
none of it. All these people existed doing things that we were arguably like they had already done these things that we were thinking we were innovative with, but because a lot of occupations discourage the internet, we'll say.
Definitely.
So with that, a lot of stuff wasn't online in a world where we were looking online, and that was happening there, and I mean, it was all post-Dutch, so a lot of things went silent.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I'm not going to say... a lot of people tried way harder than...
Dutch.
Facts. A lot of people tried way harder than I ever did to learn about the culture, but I just didn't until, like, later on. It wasn't in my face. I didn't know where anything was. It was if I was invited to a show, I went. And then, you know, I realized how ignorant I was at a certain point. And through that, like, you know, I started the interviews, and that changed my life. Like, that was, like, all of a sudden, it went from, okay, my scope of the Montreal scene's like 100 rappers to I personally could probably pull up a list of 700, 800 people right now, active right now, just in English. Just English. And then you, like, realize the depth of it all. So that's why when people see me right now, it's all a redemption, right? It's all like I spent like 7, 8 years taking, and, you know, now it's like just trying to pay back that debt and do it correctly.
And I'm telling you, you're doing all justice. You know what I mean? I'm watching your performances, literally for the past year, and I go, yo, this is why he could pull up to any event. This is why they want him. You're doing your thing. And you got to get your flowers, too.
Yeah, sometimes we learn that not all crowds are created equal.
Come on, G.
Yeah, we had to work for that Paul Wall crowd.
Yeah.
That Paul Wall crowd made us work.
Come on, man. I seen you guys out there hustling. You know what I mean? Yo, shout out Chris Chrome, too.
Facts. He's been around for a hot minute.
Chris Chrome is like fucking, he's smoking right now. He's like literally getting in his bag.
He's finally doing it. This man was behind. What people don't even know about Chris Chrome, he edited like all of the interviews. I don't remember this shit like that, right? We had to come. Chris Chrome knows so much shit about so much shit now watching these interviews and editing them. Like, we really just want to do this in a way where it makes sense and like people make money. Because we've heard interviews from people in other cities where they make money. And it's like, oh, we can do things differently. And, so that means we do for all the people, we are aware how weird and different we are. We're aware. It's on purpose. It's like...
Salute the indifferences.
It's like the... Right? Well, it's also like everyone else has been doing things away. If we don't try to do things differently, how are we supposed to achieve, like, bigger results?
Boom.
Not better. Just bigger. I just want bigger number of people in the room.
And for your self-achievement. It's not about what other people decide what's bigger. You know what I mean? No, I did this, and then I did this. And then I took the next steps. Yeah, I took the steps to make this bigger. I didn't say, oh, I snapped my fingers, it got bigger. Nah. I built this. And
it's like, I saw that you need to prove to, like, concert promoters that you're dope. So that's why I have a playlist that says live performances, and we film most of that shit. And it's just to make... So it's like a lot of these things is all just, like, how do you make your artist CV lit? Because most, like, we as artists should be talking about our EPKs at shows. Like, really, we should be trading tips on what got us booked and, like, some real, like, different conversations that maybe we sometimes get up to if we were, like, to try to elevate the game more.
Definitely.
But with that, you've been in the game in Montreal since a hot minute. So you came back at 15 and you're somehow doing running around with Jimmy D and doing tracks at Vincent Price's crib.
Well, you see, there's a whole intricate part. You know what I mean? Like, I was running around with Jimmy doing graffiti.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, with him and the graffiti, we touched so many different bases just off of that. You know what I mean? Just because we're English speaking, we're West Side. People didn't even think we're from Montreal. In the beginning, me and Jimmy used to get New York all the time.
Interesting.
We didn't even like. No, we're from here.
Or is it like,
no? I don't know what accent there is. You know what I mean?
Yo, there is though. There's a Montreal accent, a Toronto accent, and a New York accent. And Montreal's kind of a weird. It's closer to New York than Toronto for sure.
I mean, it is what it is, but we always got that you ain't from here. No, we're from here. So I ran around and did that for how many years? Then when RBR came around and doing the music, like in the mix of all of that, I was already recording tracks in DG. You know what I mean?
So you got, like, I know Vince was recording with them. Like, how did you end up linking with them?
With who?
RBR.
RBR, I'm there from the beginning.
Oh. I don't really know the origin of that. Like,
I'm there from day one. The name RBR came from me saying real big in a freestyle.
Say word. You're technically the name coiner.
Yeah, I was just saying real big, just like on the ad-lib shit. And he took that as Real Big Records back.
That's wild. And like, so how did it all like start? If you can share any of that.
Well, yeah, it just started. Nasty had the spot. He was in St. Henry. He was there with his Ottawa boys, and like, you know what I mean? They came into Montreal and they had a spot in St. Henry, and then the spot was just going up for rent. Man said, "Yo, let's hold that down." He held it down. Built a full studio in the basement, and we ran with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So from the basement, most of the tracks of the takeover was recorded in the basement. I'm pretty sure all the tracks was recorded in the basement, and then by the time we started releasing other joints, it was downtown in front of the Bell Center there.
Yeah, that's a good building.
Yeah, we was in there. We released a couple joints out of there. Good sound, all that. You know what I mean? It was a good build studio.
Yeah, that building was nice. That building produced a lot of amazing music.
Crazy.
And it was a fun building because everybody was at that building of every genre. You'd be like making rap and death metal being played in the studio, two things over. So like, were you performing with them and all that? Like,
definitely. We opened up for Lloyd Banks, Collie Buds.
What was that like? Because this is a bit like...
This is wild times. This is when people were still sneaking and shit in their Tim boots. It was wild. I'm telling you. It was crazy. You know what I mean? It was actual wild times. Like, Lloyd Banks almost got ripped for his chain in the Montreal show.
That's wild. Like, just to prove a point?
Nah, them Haitian niggas from Montreal North were wildin', dog. They didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? They shut the whole shit down by trying to do that. Obviously, he ain't going to try and perform after his joint tried to get ripped off. You know what I mean? Right. They didn't get it, but they tried to rip the statue joint.
I guess. I mean, I've heard that Montreal has done this type of thing to rappers.
Yeah, they do fucked up shit from time to time.
Fair. I know it comes up whenever New York tries to be like Montreal soft or nah. Let us tell you what we've done to every New York rapper that's ever come here that we've ever done something to.
Something happens, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and we already opened up for them, so we didn't stay in the front of the show.
Right.
That was all the audience in the front. You know what I mean? So we're in the back chilling. That shit happened. Show shut down. You know what I mean?
Fair. That sounds like you guys...
Wild times. It was just wild good times. But Collie Buds is downtown, St. Laurent, St. Catherine, basement joint. Can't remember the name or whatever it was at the time. But popping. You know what I mean? Super good time. Packed place. Everything nice. You know what I mean?
And so you guys are running around. Are you guys doing the local shows as well?
Oh, we had so many local shows, and we was running around with like 3 or 4 trucks at the time. Big prints on all the trucks. You know what I mean? It was like DVD area. You know what I mean? So like you had to have the trucks, you had the music, the merch. We had all that.
So like, you guys were like fully built out like any major record label team would be in terms of like the street
just in the city.
But just here.
Just us. All us working it too.
How many guys were there involved in it?
Maybe 10 people, 9 to 10 people.
That's serious. I know y'all made like waves. Like it's come up a few times. Like anybody that's around back then will mention y'all.
We definitely did numbers. Everybody did their units. Anybody who released in the time span did units. Definitely.
And did you...
And cash, straight cash.
Did you ever, like, tour outside of Montreal?
Oh, we definitely did. We did outside of Montreal, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. We definitely did. I got flack on doing that.
What do you mean?
Because I was a young father at them times. I mean, going out of town was not a good look.
Right.
You know?
So you're supposed to be paying attention to the kid and, you know,
wifey and
instead you're like, I'm gonna go be a rap star.
I hear you.
Yeah, back. And I tried to recover as much of my weed as I could, which is not fun to lose weed.
I got some weed here. You want to roll up?
Mm-hmm. It was just more, I toppled it and it just went, and then I was like, oh no, all the ground weed on the floor. Let's see what we can recover.
Said, bro.
That's what it is.
That's what I got.
But I got a bunch of rolled ones. I always like pre-roll before I get into life.
Word, eh?
Yo, it's because, like, you go to enough rap shows in your life and you're going to have, oh shit, the same experience take place at every show. And I remember vividly, like, wildly, like, 8, 9 rappers. Everybody's got weed. Collectively, there may be an ounce of weed right there. No papers. Not a paper to be found.
Not in my circle.
And no papers ever. And I'm talking show after show. Bonnie brings papers to shows because that's how often we get asked.
Salute Bonnie. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, this has led to opportunity. Actually, it did one time. It led to me finding out about some next shit because she gave the guy paper, so now he's gonna obviously chop it up because he just got a paper from you. But no, for real, every fucking show, nobody has papers. It's the wildest shit.
Nah, I always have my pack or two of blunts. You know what I mean?
But,
you know that.
Yeah, but y'all like are from the era where you brag about how you could like roll marijuana while walking down the street in a blizzard at like, you know.
No, we definitely do that with one hand and all that.
All that shit.
We get it. But it was that time, you know what I mean?
And I'm like, I got my Kinex piece and I wrapped the weed around the Kinex piece and I packed that shit in. And people make fun of me and I'm like,
nah, you live your life. That's all it is. As long as you're happy. You're getting your buzz, you're happy, you good.
My joints be good.
Yeah,
what they're supposed to do. They're joints.
You're living in your own lane.
Some of them people be bragging heavy, and then you get they flimsy ass, weird, wobbly joints, and you're like, I'm glad you can freehand.
Look, I personally don't smoke with nobody unless I roll it. For the reason is, I know I'm gonna give you straight weed.
Facts.
I'm not putting none in it. No tobacco, no grabber, no nothing.
You learn to ask. Yo, is that just weed?
Yeah, no. Like me, I'm just gonna give you straight weed. And if you want to hit this, you got a power lung because I'm gonna give you a muffler on the end of this blunt. This muffler's gonna hit the back of your neck. If you can handle this, you can roll with me. You know what I mean? We can talk for a 1, 2. You know what I mean?
Fuck spliffs, pure weed only. MCO is enjoying this.
Wow, shout out MCO.
No, MCO is one of them true supporter types where like
that's my guy.
When people talk about you know, like how there's never real support, it's because they don't hang out with guys like MCO ever.
Here's the next thing, right? So like when people think just what you said, like, oh, there's no real support. My guy, I went out, right? And I got out my skin. You know what I mean? I got out my skin. That's how we met. Let's be honest. I had to break what I was in to get into the new life. You know what I mean? I got into the new life. I'm getting so much love out in these roads. No, I'm being real with you. I'm getting love out here. Literally. Why am I getting love? Because I'm showing love back.
That's
you know
what
I mean? Real, recognize real. Yo, I see who's cooking. Yeah, I want to cook with who's cooking. Even if you ain't cooking, I see potential in you. If you could get up on stage and spit your whole joint and you ain't got nothing in the backs and you're just going hard, shout out Russ. You know what I mean? Russ is just going hard, spitting his lungs out. Yo, that guy, salute that. You know what I mean?
I do.
All that shit, that's just shit that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Because there's fake shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I've been curving it.
I think anyway, there's a lot of I don't know. I just think a lot of people want different things too from the scene, and it's a strange environment because there's a lot of people who have very different angles and motivations who are, for lack of a better term, for us to collaborate on some summer camp type vibes. Like, it's honestly like summer camp. You don't really choose who you're going to camp with. You just get to camp, and now there's the people that are there, and we all try to, like, figure out how to make sense of it all.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the difference. I literally get to choose who I want to work with.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people want to work. I want to make sure your ability's up. You know what I mean? And, like, it is what it is. Make sure your ability is up. You know what I mean? Like, don't come to me half-assed and be like, yo, this is what I got. We got to go rewrite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not because outshining someone could be easy. But why you want to do that? Nah, I want to make you hear he came his hardest every time, too. I'm coming my hardest. Yo, nah, come on. Yo, work on that. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you have a lot of people who approach you with half-finished ideas or whatever?
Like, half-finished ideas, or the bars just ain't really adequate.
What makes an adequate bar to you?
Okay, so technically, because I could pick out a lot of lines that people are lying about. You know what I mean? And just being, you know, a hip hop, you know what I mean, student, historian as well. You know what I mean, and studying the whole thing. I'm like, you're gonna get fabricated joints. Not everyone's rapping what they're really doing or da-da-da-da. If it really got a click to it and it really could bop, I might rock with it. You know what I mean? But, like, I want to hear truthfulness.
So really, it's more about the authenticity of producing your story.
Yeah, like, you don't have to fake. Like, if you were the rich kid that lived it up, then live it up. You know what I mean? Become the dopest.
Right.
Become the dopest. You know what I mean? If that's your lane. You know what I mean? Like, but if people just want to say, yo, they did this, they did that, they got this, they got that, and you don't, you know?
I do think of one time I talked to somebody, and the conversation kind of went in a circle of, well, I don't want to go to the show because I'm not getting paid. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. But he's like, I'm not getting paid, and when I go to a show, I have to pop bottles because I rap about popping bottles. So unless you're going to pay for me to pop bottles, I don't want to do. And I'm like, hold on. Why? You could not rap about popping bottles. And it does feel like this would avoid the entire conundrum
and
of
what if you're really getting it, the way you're rapping about getting it,
it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be an issue.
To me. You know, like,
I mean, you could pick and choose which venues you want to pull up to, as each artist is.
It was just about the reason though. Like, the people I know who like pop bottles, like the guy I do a podcast with in New York, he'll just spend $500 on champagne because he wants to tell you not maybe tell you, but low key a little bit, tell you that he want to spend $500 on champagne. Like, it's his flex. It's what he does. If the bar don't have what he wants, he comes with it, and he don't not do the show. He'll pull up with his champagne.
Yo, shout out Funk Low.
Facts.
Funk Low pulls up. He's buying bottles of champagne. He's pouring up. He's having a good time. He's supporting
every
the crowd.
Time.
No?
Yeah, no. I think the last 3 times I saw him at Belmont, he bought a bottle of champagne each time.
And he's pouring up. He's just like, yo, let's all have a good time. Because that's what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because, again, it's not about, if I come over here, I need. No, he just pulls up and he does what he does. As many people do, but the people who don't, right? The people who don't, is because they're looking for someone to kiss their ass. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? There's the ego thing, right? If you can put your ego down, right, you'll be richer.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, here's the thing. Let's say, however good I think I am, bro, I've been in room. I got to go into a room with a professional wrestler, like a guy who's on TV doing pay-per-views, and watch him do some stuff. I don't know if it's cool to name them, so,
no doubt.
And shit. The guy's rings, like, added perspective to what jewelry was worth, just by visuals. Like, yo, you stand next to a guy like that, and it's humbling. Like, it's so humbling. Like, when I look at, like, so many of the people who I've talked to's lives, it's like, I've had blessings. But definitely. I also know that, like, I ain't accomplished shit in the big picture of accomplishing shit to have the ego. Like, you got to realize in that conversation, you are literally in the conversation with Jay-Z. There's no anything else. And you're competing with history. And it took me a long time to accept that, like, I can do my part, but, like, I might not be Jay-Z. I'm probably not going to be a Jay-Z.
Okay. But you could be a Jeru.
Facts. Which I'm
and totally toward with, your whole life.
Which sounds lit.
You could be a Tech 9 and have your own merch and your own branding and then push forward.
These guys
and sell it a certain way.
Definitely have the humility of life on how to conduct good business.
I'm not saying you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I don't look at it like I can't, bro. I look at Aesop Rock as an example. Okay. That guy looks like he's having a great time. He makes exactly the music he want to make. He's got tons of fans that support him.
Exactly.
Like, yo, if I could pull $100K a year off of music clean, that's it. That's the real goal for me. But then you got to realize, like,
the effort that you got to pull.
No, with all that, but
you got to pull in, you got to push in.
To achieve that too, you have to know how to play your role in every room, and to do that, you got to recognize when you ain't shit, which is in a lot of the rooms with a lot of the people.
Definitely.
That's what I've been learning all about, because, like, being in the room with Jeru, bro, I never felt, like, small like that before. Like, you have this knowledge of, I am the least significant human being in this room. Like,
definitely.
Like, the posse's more significant.
Yeah.
I'm there with Ricky D. I'm there with the fucking Next Mans. I'm there with whatever. Willie Scandals walks in, and we're up in the green room, so this is his turf, and these are all his people, too. I'm like, damn, I am, like...
nothing.
I'm not even on the ladder. Yeah. Like, these guys don't know who I am. I'm just, like, dead ass. Perry had to co-sign that I was chill. That's that's what it's like.
My guy, you're in a field where shit's clicking. You understand?
And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like,
how do you push forward though? You know what I mean? Do you stand back? Do you stand back with 2 eyes and 2 ears, 1 mouth less? You know what I mean? Or are you the voicers type and forget that you got all this, and you know what I mean?
A mix of the both, because we all learn through experience.
Yeah. Okay, I respect the honesty, because me personally, what I've learned is, like, I'm vocal. People see that I'm Regulators. I'm vocal. I'm out here at 7:30, right? But at certain times, you'll see me on my, and now I'm on some scheming shit. It's because I got 2 of these, and I got 2 of these, and 1 of these. So I know at certain points, I'm just gonna kick it back, right? And I'm just gonna and I'm gonna hear joints. And then I get home and I talk with my lady, or I hit Jimmy up, or I hit Mass or Snake up, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Because I was hearing more than I was saying. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I had to learn a lot about that. You'll notice over the course of, life, I talk a bit less in public. And I mean, it depends on who I'm with, too. Sometimes I'm in a mood. But, like...
well, I seen you. I seen you on some shroom nights or
yeah, those are fun. Yeah, the shroom nights. I don't care what anyone says. Yo, 35 with no kids.
Definitely
gotta live it up.
Hit them shrooms. Shrooms is natural. I eat shrooms too.
Yo, it's definitely something I have to figure out more before I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
You know how little money I spent that night on shrooms?
Oh man.
Because you're not drinking. That's
nothing.
Like the main
just
rule.
Water.
And yo. If there's food, man. You're like, okay, and you're going to not eat a lot because you, like, kind of...
Chicken's okay, but, like, pizza's no good.
No, I ate pizza that night.
No good.
I was down. But, like, yeah, I did shrooms that night. I kept the ghost going. That performance was what it was.
Definitely.
I sweated everywhere.
Yeah, it was
sweated everywhere. But, like, for me, it's, like, at the same time, I, like, think a lot about these situations after the fact, and there's been a lot of times where, like, yo, you can almost see somebody's interest fade if you talk too much, or you can almost see when you fucked up the moment. So, like, bro, I'm gonna probably blunder for the rest of my life is what it's gonna. I'm one of them talking guys, but I've learned a lot how to identify when this is not the right time, and to at least shut the fuck up and let other people tell me their stories a lot. I'll let people tell me their stories a lot before I start talking, so at the very least they know that I care.
So I'm just gonna give a good interlude to Massive sit down with you. When Massive sits down with you, Master's on some, yo, don't fucking hold your tongue for nothing. Let this shit out. Master said, yo, I hold my tongue for 1 year. He said 1 year of his life, right?
That's crazy.
He held his tongue. He's like, it's the worst fucking year of my life, he said to me. I was like, motherfucker, calm down, you know? He's like, no, you have to talk what you got to talk. If they don't want to listen, fuck them. I'm like, that's my dude. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. Sometimes I think that's appropriate because at the same time, if you don't ever talk, maybe they don't know. And you know what?
They'll never know.
There's a lot of things
and they assume.
There's a lot of things people don't know about me because they only ever see me in certain contexts. And so sometimes I'd be on my, like, you know, we just talking because, you know, you're feeling away.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like, who am I talking to? Right? That's another thing. Like, yo, I guarantee you next to Nate Husser, I'm going to absolutely not be talking like an idiot.
Well, you know what I mean? It's depending on the night, brother.
That's facts. But it's also not right away. It's also like, yo, I don't know him like that. I never met him like that.
But in order for you to stay true to yourself, I mean, it's just going to be a conversation because that's how you got to have it with each person, right? Because like if you meet a star, right, and you're like this, now your tongue's caught, you can't say nothing, right? You got to treat every person.
I don't have that problem. I need to shut up because I'm just going to run my mouth in this motherfucker.
Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's cool though. You might meet the best friend of your life because you ran your mouth and he was willing to listen.
That's a fact. But like, you know, like anyway, I just realized I'm about to meet a lot more famous people and have a lot of moments where I'm gonna either talk too much, too little. I'm not worried. This isn't like stressing, right? Like, listen, Poison Pen, I embarrassed the fuck out of myself in front of him, and forever he's gonna. Well, yeah, because I met the wrestler. Rappers didn't faze me. Okay. I watched this man's win belts and shit when I was. I was such a dork. Like.
So you went in like fanish.
Yeah, because we were in the studio.
Okay.
It was on some like wow.
What studio?
This random one in Brooklyn.
Word.
And I was watching them make a song.
Oh, when you said you went down there.
Yeah. There's a whole moment, and then Poison Pen and my mans laughed at me so hard, and then laughed at me like they were on a call, knowing I was listening, laughing at me, talking about me. They laughed at me again in person. They laughed at me again on camera.
And that's what you got to utilize the situation. It was just like pictures and laugh more with them.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
It was made very clear to me that if you can't handle this, get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this from a place of, oh no. I was more like owning it. Like, yo, I know exactly who I am and how this shit plays out sometimes. Thankfully, most of them play out real good.
My guy, I've been laughed at more than I've been laughed with. That's how I feel my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's cool. You want to know why? Because anybody who was laughing at me before is now trying to roll with me. You know what I mean? They laughed at me at a certain point in time, but when they see me out here and I'm doing my, yo, they're doing their thing and yo, yeah. You're the same guy that was laughing at me. I didn't got to call you out. I just don't got to really got to, you know what I mean?
That's curve. I guess you have been around from a long time doing this music shit, because if you were like doing it back then, you're saying you were involved in like the hot era of Montreal when you were like 20.
Yeah. And yo, Montreal was hot like for some years. Like I said, Roy Nuck had the joint jumping, bro. Butter babies, you know what I mean? Like people's out here really doing their thing in Montreal, right?
No,
for real.
I know.
So like when I got here, like Mag, yo, word. When I got here, Mag was like, they'd have him on their you know what I mean, top 5 and shit. Like people would say that shit. You know, Biggie, Pac, Mag, you know what I mean, type shit. Like Mag was really a barsman, you know what I mean? Right. Novocaine, you know what I mean? Barsman, you know what I mean? Like people was on their shit where people would say, yo, this is my top rapper type shit, you know what I mean?
That's wild, because you don't hear that kind of love now.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy because there's spitters here. So if you don't got love for where you're at, you ain't going to get love to where you're going. You know what I mean? People got love back then, for real.
Who are your favorite spitters in the city?
Unbiased?
Yeah.
Just
like who like you don't have to say my name or no shit. Like I'm not fishing. I'm curious for like who you
like who I'm fucking with?
Yeah.
I definitely, I like Jimmy. Yeah, he's the homie, but like it's what he raps about. I can relate. I can pick out like I could break it down and I could, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't understand it and it's all good because he's in his own world. But
right.
Jimmy got bars, you know what I mean? Widget, and not just because he's family.
No,
right?
I mean, I just saw his 30 for 30 verse.
No, gee, like, not just because he's family. Widget actually got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yo, Wavio got some shit. You know what I mean? And like, and we're talking about like back in the day shit. Wavio got some shit. You know what I mean? I fuck with showbiz. You know what I mean? I do fuck with chrome shit. Heavy. You know what I mean? Like in new school, King K, Bus, his tracks just, it rings. You know what I mean?
Right.
It rings to me.
King K's got something to the way he does it.
It rings to me. Like when I hear his shit, I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Chef Rambo.
I don't think I know Chef Rambo.
Tap in, you know what I mean? Rambo's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, Shabb, you know what I mean? Shabb's doing his thing. CY's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's artists out there that's actually ding, ding. And again, what's a hit now? Right? We could go back to what's a hit.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, there's a hit in hip-hop, and then there's a hit.
Like, exactly. This one's, it hits. It's going. Boom.
I feel like our city as a whole likes EDM the most right now. Not necessarily. I don't even know if hip-hop is in the top 5 of Montreal. Like, to be honest. I'm talking about the whole population.
Montreal got some work to do, right?
Because Montreal's got the metal side that's really doing big. It's got the EDM side. It's got the jazz side.
I'll tell you, the French rap right now is doing numbers.
Yeah, that's facts.
It's doing numbers.
No, that's facts.
There's a couple
French. About the French side sometimes.
There's a couple French
like
tracks.
Man's just sold out Place Belle 2 days in a row.
There's a couple French tracks right now on my Spotify, right? Paranoia, Kinzo or something like that. Paranoia, like the track just hits. You know what I mean? It's on my joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It always pops up. You know what I mean? There's certain tracks, like there's artists out here doing it. It's just, can we support everybody? Because if you can't get love here, you're not going to. It's hard to get love elsewhere, and they're not bumping you here.
That's super true. I mean, I hear a lot of people talk about this whole, if you leave and pop somewhere else, they'll get love here. And I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. I got to sell tickets in Toronto. It's harder to sell tickets in Toronto than it is to sell tickets in Montreal. I could tell you that much, at least for me.
Look, Busy NASA, right now off my playlist, right here. Busy NASA, Mike Shabb, Jean-Luc, Mike Shabb. You know what I mean? That's just right there off the jump.
Yeah, it's cool that you could answer that.
R.I.P. Jean-Luc. You know what I mean?
So, like, at one point, Scott said, start asking people who their favorite Montreal rappers is and watch how nobody answers your question. And for the... No, you did.
Oh, okay.
But most people couldn't honestly name a bunch of Montreal rappers they actively bump.
No, my shit's right here. Like, I could scroll my joint.
I believe
you.
You.
Know what I mean?
You just came with a really thorough answer and showed that you really tapped in like that. Whereas... That's cool to see. I'm trying to say you like.
Yeah, no. I'm unbiased. If I don't fuck with your shit, I will literally tell you I don't fuck. Oh, Jay Nor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with his shit.
I fuck with his shit too.
I fuck with his shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's artists out here I could tell you, yo, I'm tapped in. And in the past year, it's you, Chrome, like, inviting me out certain joints. Like, you know what I mean? Obsidian's got some growth in her.
Yeah.
In the past year. Yeah. Word.
She learned how to perform. Like, to go from kind of the shy, awkward girl at the bar to like,
yeah, like yo,
choreograph shit. Like, say word, you be
full
like,
outfit. Like she's thinking the process. Change. Yeah, she's thinking the process of the whole shit. Like she's a superstar already. Because that's how we're supposed to think about each other. We're superstars. Let's get it popping
and have fun with it. And
yeah, definitely have fun. If you ain't having fun, just go home. Let's be honest, right? Just go home. Don't have the sour face and all that. You know what I mean?
Nah, nobody needs that. You know what I would love to see more of is people dancing. Like, that's the one. Because, I was at Blue Dog the other night for that shit that Widget was hosting. Nobody seemed to know about it. So I pulled up. because I found it randomly. Shout out Facebook events.
Yeah, no one posts it and fucking promotes it, right?
Listen, I talked to the man and I said, "Lo, broski, well, let me tell you how I found this event. By fluke, because somebody said, yo, it's popping to Montreal. By fluke, I went on Facebook events and filtered to today, and you happened to pop up.
Crazy shit.
Had I not done that, do you think I would have found this? Like, no, you didn't even have it on the Instagram. It wasn't nowhere.
My guy, 100 to 200 people on my stories every day.
Yeah.
And I'm posting my shit all the time. I want everyone to see where I'm going.
No, you put work in on that fucking, and then you even do the stitches and reels. You're like, okay, one of my favorite parts about you is in this era where everyone tries to fight being the influencer man, you're like, fuck it, I am the influencer man, and I appreciate that about your brand.
Well, it's just about bigging up everybody. Again, if we all can't win together, we are not going to win. We could be divided. It's going to be small increments then.
If it's divided, other cities will just keep.
We're only getting small increments. If we're divided, we're only getting small increments. We're not going to get to the stages that we all want to get to. Everybody should want to sit down with you and want to do an interview with you. Why? Build themselves, help build you.
Facts. And then not just me, yo. Then you gotta go to
Montreal.
Hustle Podcast.
Exactly.
Then you gotta hit up Low Key is a Vibe and
exactly.
all that shit. You gotta hit up 514 Online Mix.
Come on, everybody.
Clips.
Huh?
I realized I was at an event with Young Clips and didn't know he was Young Clips, and I should have chopped it up.
Yo, my guy, everybody holler at me. You know what I mean, salute to you to having me on first. You know what I'm saying? Because no one wanted to give me an interview. I've been hitting up people.
Say word. I gotta give love to Hustle Podcast. They had me out like episode 15, so all love to them. But
dope work.
Haven't been on much of the I was thinking about that. I haven't actually done a lot of other shows. Like I've interviewed a lot of people. I'm not saying I deserve it. Like this isn't some like, oh, if you don't want me on your show, it's not like. But it's just, where are the other shows I could go on? Like I really run it. I did Hustle Podcast. Low Key doesn't do a lot, you know. Like he's kind of does what he does, and then I now know about the Clips folks, so I'm gonna check them. But like, it doesn't seem like there's enough of this, to be honest. What I want to see is like 40 more interview shows pop off. Like people think sometimes that no, that's all I want is that there's so many that there really is an industry. Where it really is like you as an artist have something to drop, you can hit 15 fucking shows and then really get your buzz on, and really we then can all backlink to your shit. Like there's bigger reasons to this from like SEO person.
One person that I know that's been on that, and I met him 2 years ago, right? DJ White Sox.
I'm not sure who that is.
You didn't meet him yet, eh?
Nah.
I met DJ White Sox like 2 years ago through Jimmy and Craven. You know what I mean?
Right.
And super solid guy. You know what I mean? And be somebody nice for you to link up with. You know what I mean? Just to cross-examine and do your thing with. You know what I mean? Because at the end, you have to have tunnels to build. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
And that guy, super solid guy. Now that I think about it, when you're talking about no one ever linked you up, dog, White Sox, if you're listening, you know what I mean? DJ White Sox, man. Link up with Holden, man. Do a cross-examination. You know what I mean?
Nah, there's a lot of cool people though. Thankfully, I linked up with the History guys, and we were able to start chopping it up there. Like they're gonna be on the show at some point, and like, you know, like that they linked me to the Association Musique Urbaine du Québec.
Dope.
And they be like fucking needing help with some English shit, and I'm like, wow, you know, like
tap in, bro.
No, but yo, on that note, y'all got to go to these networking events. If you speak French,
because if you
don't speak French,
I try, but when they see that I'm trying, all of a sudden they can speak English. I swear to God, yo, every time. I'd be like,
yo, I was hollering at them, right? Because I wrote this whole, like, I started the blogging shit, and part of it was like, look, this shit was French. So if you don't speak French like that, you might not want to. They're like, you're making a good point here. We might have to try a little harder to be, or like, in my opinion, they should just do 2 separate events. Do the French, and then, because the panelists are bilingual.
Yeah.
So then do the French part and then do the English part.
Bilingual part, because you got to have the franglais. The franglais is extra right now. You have to be good on your franglais.
Yo, but I'm trying to actually think about it from a knowledge sharing perspective. Like, how many of our peoples out there don't speak French? And I had trouble.
Bare people speak franglais. Moi, je parle beaucoup franglais, big.
Yo, but we're talking like real jargon talk. Like,
yo, big. Like, it's because I do moving. So I speak with a lot of pure lang. They hit me with some like country talk, and like all I hear is right. I shit you not, and I have to depict where I laugh or answer. No, man.
Because you're bringing me back to customer service days. I used to talk to people in France on the phone. Now, I could do Quebec French, but when I first started talking to France people, bro, I had no idea what the fuck they were saying.
My guy?
What's an arrobase?
My guy?
Nobody taught me what an arrobase is.
You don't know what pure lane is.
Nah.
Exactly. That's our real French. And I'm telling you, you'll be out there, like, Montreal's one type of French.
You're saying, like, country French.
And they speak it all outside of Quebec. And no, outside, like, the outer edges. Right. The outer edges. Like outside of, like,
Quebec.
Like, outside of Montreal, Laval, and Brossard, you're going to hear pure lane. Like, this shit is real. You know what I mean? No, I'm being real. Like, they're going to say some shit to you. And you're like, they're going to be like, oh, muelo, and you're going to be like, oh, fuck. And it's a whole fucking joke that they're laughing, and you just missed it. So now they know you ain't pure lane. I'm telling you, B. No,
I hear you.
Yo, this shit is crazy. Yo, salute to all my people, all the pure lanes. Parce que moi je t'aime tout. Moi je t'aime tout. You know what I mean? I have no discrimination. I try to speak my franglais proper. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Yeah, dog. You have to be, dog. If you're English tongue, speak that franglais because then they know you're trying.
No, I speak French, like, well enough. Like,
nah, I don't speak it well enough.
I'm like,
but I speak franglais good enough.
I use the term functionally bilingual. Like, I'm not bilingual enough to understand battle rap in French. Battle rap in French, which I was just tested on, not my forte.
Not my forte either.
But if the lyrics are on the screen with the subtitles,
no.
I'm okay. I can read battle rap while listening to it, and I can follow that conversation. But, like, and if it's at work and I got to holler at you in French, it's all right, we good. And I found, because at one point, girls said my French accent was cute, and it got me laid. So I was like, moi, je parle français maintenant. C'est comme ça.
I had, you know, when I was a young boy, I heard that too. You know what I mean? And I thought my bonjours and my da-da-da, my rules and arrêts, it was all blessed. Just not blessed. You got to get more into it.
No, I was able to go on dates and just speak French the entire conversation.
That's crazy.
I'm bad at it, but good enough to get through the conversation with Shawty, follow it, and she.
Shawty.
I've had girls
be like, Shawty followed it.
Stop speaking English, broski. You're hurting your chances.
Word.
And I'm like, duns. And then, like, you realize in the office place, there's, like, people who it's like, there was one guy I used to work for. I didn't have to speak in French. I just had to say bonjour and say 4 words in French and then flip to English, and it was good. But if I started in English, he would act like he didn't hear me. It was like, okay. And, you know, you would just like, okay, you just get used to French.
My God, I pull up to people's houses, right? To move them. The whole day they're speaking to me French, right? When it's time to do the bill, they know how to speak English. You know what I mean? What? No. I'm not paying da-da-da-da-da. I'm telling you, all of a sudden they know how to speak English. You say, you motherfuckers, because I know. You know what I mean? I'm in the field. You know what I mean? I'm also seasoned. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Love and respect to Holden, man. Love and respect to Holden, man. Behind the suit. Bridging the gap.
So, yo, with that thing, so you're with RBR back then, right? And you'd be doing your shit.
Yeah.
What, like, made you stop musicking? Or was that?
No, what happened was, right? Street shit happened. So
right.
RBR basically closed down because street shit. And then I was having kids at the time too, right?
Family shit. So I was more focused on my 40 hours a week on the job. And then, you know what I mean? I was a young guy running around doing my life. You know what I mean? So I was doing that after work. And yeah, music wasn't a priority. You know what I mean? So like raising my kids, providing for my kids. If I'm not mistaken, you have quite a few.
Yeah, I got a couple. I got 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got 6, right? I got 6 kids. Proud. I got 6 kids, right? At the time, right, of RBR, I had 1. And then, like, nearing the end of RBR, I had my second. You know what I mean? Because all my kids are 3 years apart.
Right.
Right? So as the time ran for RBR, I basically had 2 kids in the span of the time of RBR. You know what I mean?
Turns into a family man. You got to focus, build up.
Basically, right?
And then you're doing art the whole time still, or?
Okay, so now with the art, again, when working full time, I didn't have time to sit down and concentrate.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, while I'm still working, I'm still running around the roads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, you know what I mean? Like, that was the life, you know what I mean?
Doing your thing.
Yeah, it is 20 plus years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Another era.
Yeah. Young me, right? So I'm still running around. Shit happens, you know? Besides that, well, with running around, you end up getting jail bids.
Right.
That's, if you don't get jail bids, you're a snitch. I got to put that out there. If you don't have a record, if you're running around and I'm super clean, 9 times out of 10 you are snitching. 9.5 times.
Right. I'm not gonna doubt you on that.
I'm just letting it out.
Based on the general Facebook conversation, it seems like a hot topic, but it does feel like the Montreal police are pretty good at what they do.
Oh, like, no hate on police. Police is a profession, and if they do what they do, people get caught.
But that JLB goes 20 plus years ago, dude. You look young. Broski's older than me.
You know,
that's what it is, though.
Yeah, just running around. You know what I mean? And so when it came back time for music, like, I got a whole project right now that I did with Young Jedi.
Right.
By his house, he recorded, mastered the whole joint. I just never released it.
How come?
Because shit that I'm actually saying on that record is not good for personal look. You know what I mean? And what I got, I was more or less angry. You know what I mean? I was more or less angry and things. And, like, I was just going through shit. You know what I mean? So I spit a lot of bars. Like, and if people are listening, they could pick out the subliminals.
So you don't want to have to deal with that.
So, not that I didn't want to deal with it, because I'm fully confrontational.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm regulators, right? So, like, I regulated myself, but no one ain't going to step to me because I regulate that as well.
Right.
But at the same time, I got to be cautious on my movements. You know what I mean? So I let certain shit just, like, a whole project, bro. And the project is fire. Like, I'll send you the shit for you to bump on your lonesome.
Yeah, I hear you.
Gee, it's hard. But again, I was jacking beats and all that. This is like 2014 or something. You know what I mean? I just went in an era just, you know what I mean? Like it was still 2005. You know what I mean? I just grabbed a whole bunch of beats, did a thing. The shit's fire. Will I release it? Probably not. You know what I mean?
It'll be like one of those things that surfaces in 20 years when everyone's rich and you don't have to stress it.
Or dead.
Yeah.
Once
far enough in the future. It's not a concern anymore.
One or the other, you know what I mean? If everyone's rich or dead.
However it works.
It's a good way to put it.
I mean, that's how they do it, those FBI files and shit. Lock it away till pretty much everyone's dead or rich.
They just released someone's files.
The JFK files.
JFK files, eh? That was dope. I seen that. I seen a little snippet on that. I wanted to watch, like, everything, though.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by how that all works out because there is a bunch of bullshit and then it gets released. I don't know if you ever read Charlie Wilson's War.
My God.
That shit was the hardest. Like, just these books.
JFK, they blame a black man for doing it, though.
Say again?
JFK. That's one where they blamed a black man for doing it the whole time, right?
I don't know about if JFK was...
JFK, that's the president.
Yeah, I don't know about the black man.
And it was Woody Harrelson's father who supposedly hit him.
I thought it was that Booth guy, but that might have been a different guy.
Nah, like, I'm pretty sure that's the JFK one, where it's Woody Harrelson's father that hit him. I'm pretty sure, because, like, I be watching shit, a whole bunch of shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, dog. And then like now they released the files on it. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I want to get into it more than I talk on it, but that's a nice one.
No, I find that stuff really interesting because when you really dig into it, like, it's as ludicrous as the movies make it, and then a lot of shit. Like, when the Edward Snowden shit came out, like, my dad had been talking about a lot of that shit my whole life on some conspiracy theory shit, right? Like, he saw, like, that Mel Gibson movie when he was young. He was just on it. He was paying attention, always going. And then the NSA leaks happened, and my dad was right about like 80% of his bullshit. He was definitely wrong about some of his bullshit, definitely wrong. But he was so right about so much of it that he had just deduced and figured. And I'm like, damn, it's really
this
like
shit comes out, bro.
It's really like that though. Like, and I'm not one to like be like there's an Illuminati, but if you're gonna tell me there's a bunch of rich guys and corporations that meet once a year, like but man. It's like. To me, it's just follow the money more than anything else.
I've been not in like big corporate shit, but just in what I've been doing. And there's their own secret society in that. You know what I mean? You'll see who get the contracts.
Like the art world or the...
No, in the moving world. In moving. In Montreal, right? You'll see who get the contracts and the transport, who's doing this and da-da-da-da. It is what it is. That's the life. You know what I mean? That's a life. That's not something you could ever bypass. You know what I mean? It's about how do you get in on it. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way. Like, I mean, if you're talking about getting paid, really, it's how do you get in on it? Because at this point, we're the bottom feeders.
We are absolutely the bottom feeders. As I learn all about, like, I'm starting to learn more about how the shows work. Like at the next level, not the big level. Just the next level, and it's like, oh wow,
my guy.
Ultimately, we are all the labor.
Yeah,
and we are not going to make a lot of money. And if you don't play ball, okay, to be fair, not nothing. I'm gonna sell pickle shirts, and you're gonna sell Regulators hats and shit. So we're gonna do something with it. But like, it's not gonna be like anyone's gonna hand you a bag because end of the day, there's so many artists right now, and the layer we're in that. If you're not willing to make that guy some bread off of your effort, then why is he even going to look your way? Because there is just that many people willing.
How many artists do you think was walking around on St. Patty's Day parade with their merch?
How did that go? I saw the experiment with the 12-pack.
I was the only one because I was looking. I wanted to make a post with someone. I wanted to say someone else is out here doing it like me. I walked up and down. I tried to do my best. You know what I mean? No one else is out promoting themselves. Bro, I'm a walking billboard.
I feel that.
I'm a walking billboard. I don't do this just in now. I do this when I'm at work. When I'm at work, all my hoodies say Regulators across the front. I wear 2 chains that say Regulators on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
For real. Like, now it's about to get into the nice weather and I start rocking the hats out. This one, you know what I mean? Oh, yo, let me get those hats. I have all them hats in the truck.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been learning about it a bit. Like you see, I got the bag done. I got the fucking shoes done.
The shoes, I got to salute you. You jumped me one.
Jumped
me one. Because that one, I was like, yo, I need the shoes. And they went and did them. I'm like, all right, now I got to chill. I can't do the shoes right now. I got to get a whole new mold. I can't do that mold. You know what I mean? But salute you.
Like, because, I see what you were doing. And, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I don't try to copy things I see that work.
No, you're supposed to emulate and make better.
And then, like, I'm like, okay, so, like, I try to get people, like, get the pickle shit if you're down. But I have to wear it every day then.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not willing to put that on every day.
Every day.
The only reason I'm not wearing the pickles for this one is because it's a
I salute you for that, brother.
Like,
I know what it is. I salute.
But we got the pickles on the screen. We're all right.
Tap it.
But it's really about it's really about believing that your shit is something that people really fuck with. Yeah, and I know you've been at the Regulators for a hot minute, but like when did that actually come to like start? Because, like, we've talked about a bunch of stuff, but that's,
the merch side.
Yeah.
There's the merch side, and then there's the family side, right? The family side basically came apart 11 years ago.
So this would be, like, with Massive and all them, or?
No, this is me, Randai, and Quince. You know what I mean? It's just us three in the beginning, and it grew to what it grew to. You know what I mean? But it was just us three, you know what I mean, chilling.
I don't actually know how big Regulators is right now.
Because there's the street side, and now we're making the music side, and
fair enough.
And you know what I mean? There's a difference, you know what I mean, to everything. Because even again, to the people that I started it out with, I don't talk to them every day.
Right.
I don't talk to them every day. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and it was only us three. But them two guys, I don't talk to them two guys every day. Do I wish I talked to them every day? I do wish I do, you know what I mean? But we don't. And it is what it is. But when we do talk, it's always love. Right. You understand? So now I took that, and it was more or less everyone saying, yo, if you made something, I'd rock it. That's what it turned into, right?
Right.
And that's when COVID happened. So I had time. I had a little bit of money saved up, so I invested into myself. You know what I mean? So I made the Regulators brand. You know what I mean? And what it came from that, I was getting more love in the States and out of town, bro. Nothing was Montreal, bro. You know what I mean?
So you just started the Regulators and were like selling it over Instagram or?
Instagram, word. Just Instagram, and I was doing more numbers off Instagram.
Were you doing like paid stuff or was it just organic?
Straight paid, right? Like, they're paying me for everything.
No, I mean like were you pushing ads or?
No, definitely not.
So you just started posting, people would come across it?
Yeah, because I'm a polo head, right?
Okay. So you tapped in.
So like it started with like me just like posting joints of like all my polo shit. You know what I mean? So like I built a good crowd just off my polo shit because I got a good collection of just like rare joints. You know what I mean? Like, but I appreciate the art. You know what I mean? Of clothing. So that's why like Ralph is one of the ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Boom. Started doing that, tapping in. I did send a couple joints out for free. You know what I mean? Hail up a couple heads, you know what I mean? Like real low life heads, you know what I mean? Send them out the packs and boom. From there, it's like there was no traction. You know what I mean? You know what it is. Like you get a good couple runs and then like.
I mean, I had a one day where I sold 3 and that felt like incredible. And I don't even know in the next one.
My guy, I had six going to the U.S. in one day.
That's crazy.
6 to the U.S. in one day. And then I had like the next day I had like 1 for Calgary. 2 days after I had some going to Vancouver. I was like, yo, I'm here, I'm there. Like I just felt like I was going everywhere, right? Quick. And then shit died down. But now me and Mass have been cooking. We've been cooking. We've been having tracks.
Right.
CY came through with, yo, he posts a post. I hollered. So I got you, OG. You know what I mean? Bow. From then, I've just been adamant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm checking people's posts and who's doing what, showing here and here, what different street, because I'm trying to get it everywhere. Like, I could just do Blue Dog all day.
Right.
But we want to get elsewhere. You know
I would like to not necessarily do Blue Dog all day.
Listen, I'll do whatever.
All love to Blue Dog. Because
I'll love the Blue Dog
a lot. And I'm going to be at Blue Dog a whole lot. But, like, I would also like to not be at Blue Dog.
I want to hit up everywhere. You know what I mean? But if you guys want to book me at Blue Dog, I'm there. You know what I mean? Regulators is there. You know what I mean? Piranha Bar, Belmont. You know what I mean? What's the spot that we hit up on January 5th?
That was T-Miss. Unfortunately, that place closed.
Where?
Yeah, like right after that show, like we had just done a shot with the guy, Salou. We were going to hit him with the bar percentage conversation. Like, I know you don't need to be charging us on a Thursday like that. And then the owner behind the scenes died, and they're selling the plate. And I'm like, what? This has never happened to me before. We spent so long searching. We found
that
the
was
spot.
The spot, though. I'm telling you, that was the spot.
And then that happened, and now that spot's donezo's as of January. Man. So thankfully, I joined this board of directors for a charity thing. But in the meeting for that, I met Cliff, who owns the Wheel Club, which could be the spot.
Yeah,
it's nice. Like, it's one of them joints where, like, that's the April 21st show.
Tap that in, bro.
Yo, we doing the next Not Another Rap show April 21st at the Wheel Club, Sherbrooke and Cavendish. You don't know it exists probably, and that's part of the charm, because it'd be one of them you don't know it exists joints. You walk through, it comes in, and then you walk downstairs, and it's got tables, and it's got a stage area. There was a band playing. The sound was proper. You're like, what the fuck?
Dope shit.
And it was full of old people, broski.
And we're there when?
April 21st.
Boom, April 21st. Tap in, yo.
That's a fact. But yo, and they got pinball machines, which is like.
And what do you want to do with that?
We're doing a pinball contest.
Dope.
Because why not? If you get the highest score that night, somebody gonna get $50 by having.
Boom, highest score gets 50 beans. Everybody like tap in.
That's it. And then, dope. Yeah. All that.
Dope.
But we're gonna be doing that. Why? Because I don't see nothing in DG. That's not true. I gotta give love to fucking
DG Kicks, baby.
Not just DG Kicks, because they did shit in DG, but fucking Drug Profit shows in DG.
Yes, that too, bro.
So
March 24th.
So this is making me happy, because
yes,
I spent a whole year whining about how there's nothing in DG. That is a fact.
Go. Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot happening in DG outside of the occasional one thing at DG Kicks maybe. And then I'll give it to the Caribbean Food Factory. They be doing a few things too.
Oh, they're cooking, bro.
But we're saying big picture. In the big picture, Saint Laurent be where everything happens, and it's not happening in DG like I want.
Sherbrooke and Cavendish.
Yeah, why not? You know what's a little bit farther up Sherbrooke? Concordia fucking University, bro.
Wow, let's do this.
Yo, why don't we all figure out? We want to talk about how to like get hot in the city. How do we break Concordia and McGill and fucking Abbott? If we can find ways into these college kids' land,
smart man.
That's how. And yo,
smart
like.
Man.
I'm not saying I have the answers, because trust me, if I had the answers,
we'd be all there.
I wouldn't be speculating on the podcast. But, yo, I went to this young person event at Blue Dog the other night, because it was after Widget's thing.
Deuce's thing?
I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. Widget shit happened, and then these kids came through, and they had DJs. And it was full of men, which... dead ass was encouraging, because it's good to know the young men struggle with the sausage fest problem too. Like, it's like a universal problem.
It is what it is, bro.
But they were dancing, bro. All of them were turning up, and I'm like, damn, that's a different vibe.
And they all knew they knew the tracks.
Yo, you would be surprised at the tracks they knew. And I don't know how many N-words got said in the room that shouldn't have got said. Level of you'd be surprised at the tracks they knew, because it was a bunch of white kids. And apparently everybody's a Bobby Shmurda fan, is all I'm saying.
It is what it is.
So I'm saying I was surprised.
It's not a fight right now. There's bigger fights.
That's a fact. But these kids, yo, the mix of music, Chief Keef, bro, they really like Chief Keef. Yeah. I was like, maybe I just missed some shit. But these are like 20-year-olds, and they be listening to I Don't Like. And I'm like, what? That's great. You know, like...
Big track. Why would they miss out on it? You know what I mean? Think about it, right?
I guess they'd be like 12 when the shit pop off.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean. Like, it's like when you really think about it, like, I don't know. I guess I wasn't as exposed to the I Don't Likes of the world when I was 12. My parents was trying to shelter me from the swearing music.
Yeah, I guess them years I was trying to shelter my kids as well. I guess at that point, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, you don't want... I don't know. I don't know what it would be like to be a parent in this era at all. Having to deal with the social media situation. Yo, it's 2 fucking phone calls tonight. That's crazy. I never even get phone calls in my life. But,
doing numbers?
Nah, it's all related to the shows. There are people I can call back after. Like promoting people. But nah, I don't know who's in the crowd. For all I know, Chris Crum just resubscribed with... the Amazon Prime subscription. Yo, if y'all should be on Twitch streaming your shit to something. And I say that because Chris just gave me $2.50 USD because he already has Amazon Prime and it's free for him. Motherfuckers are missing out on bags on the streaming land. So, like, y'all be sitting there, like, doing art. This is for you as an art man more than anything else because people be geeking on it. So, you don't even have to be on camera. You just set up a camera above your canvas and you paint on camera. And you will do far better than... And then you take that video and you speed it up and that's a TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and,
man.
Yo, hold up.
That's like fucking 2 times tonight.
It's alright. It happens like that. But yeah, if you do that shit, man, like I'm telling you, my man's like, he played the art game for a bit. He maybe didn't stick with it long enough, but he ended up getting a few commissions. And then he would go and stream the creation of the commission.
Okay, so does it go through one app from, or I gotta like repost and all that?
Nah, you see how that one over there?
Yeah.
That's OBS. That's what I'd be using. If you have a computer or whatever, there's a simple solution. If not, whatever. There's a solution. And then you set it up, and then it broadcasts to the various things in the internet. So basically, if you're on your phone, you would use Twitch directly, like an Instagram Live. And I just emphasize Twitch because it's the easiest way to literally get money like that. And then if people
money like that.
When I was like really, let's say I had my little blow up on Twitch 2 years ago. It was about 2 years ago now. I had like regularly, I think I made $250 in the span of like 6 months out of like just donations and shit. People would be pulling up and they can donate. I'm not asking, that's not the point of this. I'm actually just trying to put the knowledge out there. You can if you want though. But
tap in.
With the Amazon Primes, it's free. I'm just saying. But like, at the end of the day, you can create mechanisms where, like, I don't know, like how the hot tub girls will do it. If you subscribe and you give me money, I'll write your name on my body. So you could have some shit where you have like a canvas on the side, the donation board, and then you quick hand style people's names for like $10. Like these little things where people who want to spend money on it are watching you live or interact with you. And that's this world of Twitch and shit. That's why I'm on the talk show line. Like we stopped for a while, so like I don't have nothing momentum wise going on. In fact, we just like restarted again in the last couple of months. But when you're really running it, then you get into the community and shit. Yo, there are people who be like paying their rent off of fucking Twitch, just dead ass. And I mean, like in some cases, and I'm not recommending this, mans be waking up in the morning.
My rent is not $650.
I'm not saying it's
no, I'm just saying. So I gotta hit numbers.
No, but
Holden gotta hit numbers because I know he lives where he lives, and I know it ain't $650.
It's not $650 here, no.
Let's hit numbers.
No, but I see mans and he puts his rent up on the fucking thing, and I saw this one. All he does all day, 10 hours a day, is he smokes weed and he watches YouTube with you. And I know that guy pays his rent.
Off smoking weed.
Dead fucking ass. I'm not saying we all can. That guy has been doing it as long as he's been doing it and figured out how to make his bags. But when you really look at what people are doing, like, yo, me and my man's Flacco just started a reaction show of sorts.
Okay.
Because, yo, you come on Twitch where you can watch the YouTube videos, but you don't stream that to YouTube. Then you get rid of the bad YouTube videos and you put that on YouTube after because it's not, you just be aware of where you're streaming where.
Yeah.
And then you just react to shit. But when you're on Twitch, the more you come to it, like right now, Breakfast Cereals just pulled up. These people live chatting, right? And Instagram is corny because of copyright. Let's be real. Everyone's on Instagram live, but the chat sucks and you're not getting money off of that. So if everyone stopped with the Instagram live, then we move the entire scene on to Twitch.
Okay.
There's a rating mechanism. So when this stream's done, we have 7 people right now. Shout out all of you. We're going to take that audience to another channel and bring it with them. So imagine if Montreal hip-hop was layered with like 50 rappers on Twitch doing different things, bouncing the community around like that. That's what the DJs do. To be fair, the DJs just go on Twitch and they play music. It's a little easier. I'm not going to act like, like it's a little different. But we could figure it out.
Shout out all the DJs on Twitch.
Yo, bro, they are. Pick a DJ in the city. They're all on Twitch.
Shout out Blaster.
On Twitch.
Shout out Zip. You know what I mean?
Blaster's on Twitch every day at 12 p.m. And he goes live on Instagram to fun you. And Blaster's Twitch is wild. It's a bunch of women sending booty shaking emoticons. So that booty shaking appears on the screen.
All right, Bella Mella.
It's the weirdest shit ever, but
all right, Bella Mella. I'm watching you, Bella Mella.
That's what it is. It's a fact. You'll go on Blaster shit if you're at 12 o'clock every day. No.
Shaking booties.
He's sitting there doing his thing. He's just drinking, doing his thing. Because the girls in the chat, they're not there. So to show that they're shaking their booty, they send the fucking thing. It's the craziest shit ever. It's never men. It's never men sending these things.
My lady sends puff clouds. She's smoking all night long.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Yo, shout out Blaster. You know what I mean? He does his thing. You know what I mean? Shout out Twitch.
Blaster puts a lot of people on. And then Twitch could put a lot of people on if we came here before Twitch dies. Because it'll die. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I am dead ass. I've been trying to get, because Twitch isn't going to... It's like everything else. If it's just me on Twitch, and I'm the only interview show on Twitch, and I'm the only guy on Twitch, then we'll never do more than what I pull. But if you're on Twitch, and then the next match, and we build out a schedule where we, synchronize, I take this slot, you take that slot. Every time I bring in, I met a dude at the show, this DJ DiBiase guy. Never met him before in my life, but I've been rating him on Twitch for 2 years. So when he saw me and he realized who I was, it was I never seen a man light up so big in my fucking life, because I spent so much time boosting his channel over this Twitch shit. Because literally there's no rappers for me to raid.
Okay.
Nobody's there. I have to go to DJs. And then half the time there's not even people in Montreal on, so I'm just raiding who the fuck's on.
Interesting.
Yo, he does have dope as fuck sets. MCO's responding to us in real time. That's why I love this live shit. When people make me do this not live, it's cool. But I thrive on the fact that I know that there are people watching this live. Yeah. And then the next evolution is to do this with the audience. And then everybody paid a little ticket price, and then we talking bags after. That's the future of all this shit.
Tell you the truth, you have to have the dream.
Kevin Smith had the dream and he did it, so now I'm just gonna copy his dream. Yeah, that's
the vibe.
Yo, Kevin Smith rented a movie theater thing in fucking Michigan or wherever the fuck he is, and he in 2008 or 9 did live podcasts like it was like a movie. And why wouldn't people want to sit there? MCO been here for 2 hours now. He been here pretty much the whole time. If MCO was at the bar right now having drinks, what's the difference to MCO at the end of the day between this kind of content and other kinds of content? He's just saying, I buy a ticket to watch that because we're entertaining people as much as we're doing this. In fact, I think we'd enjoy it more with just even 30 people. Just imagine 30 people, just then Q&A time at the end.
So probably you got to try that at one of your open mics.
Kind of find a venue that is willing to gamble.
No, just the one of your open mics over there, Old Orchard.
Yeah, I don't have the sway there. It's an off-camera conversation. Off-camera,
but back and forth.
No. What I'm saying is the right venue will appear where it will make sense to do it, and when that venue appears where it makes sense, we're gonna make it happen. But the right venue has to want to do it, and then honestly, it can't just be my shows, my thoughts. It needs to be a circuit of people. We take a night at a venue, and if I do 1 week, then the next guys do the next week, the next guy,
As long as you have someone willing to articulate with you and go back and forth, then it's mainly just your show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying about trying to promote live events. I've learned that you might not want to bite off more than you can chew. Trying to promote live interviews every week would be...
Again,
very challenging.
It's going to be with people you could articulate with and have the conversation with.
That's facts.
If it's someone that you couldn't have the conversation with them with off camera, it's probably someone that you shouldn't have the conversation with.
But it's also somebody who's
camera.
willing to do it in front of the audience too, because then it's one thing, people are cool with this, and I found out it's a different game. But I want to do that with a Mike Shabb, or there's certain people who I haven't hit up because I want to hit them with that experience, because I know then it's going to be a much better version than, in the room, which don't get me wrong, this is a cool vibe. But like, there's just certain, like, I have the vision of where it's gonna go. And I was holding off, but then I realized I had to just start doing it again, or I'm never gonna get where I want to go. But like, to me, this is no longer what the show's supposed to be. It's supposed to be in front of a live audience with interactions, because otherwise people aren't gonna realize how dope this shit is. YouTube isn't able to prove how dope this shit is. Although, shut up, we just hit 10 people. That's fucking hard.
Shout out to everybody that tapped in. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's there. It's a bunch of people there. I don't know who's there, but MCO been chatting the whole time. So you started the Regulators clothing brand. You've been hustling it this whole time. And I know you told me you're pivoting into art more seriously as a hustle. So why don't you tell us a bit more about that while we got more people watching?
Well, the thing with the art is that I involve the children with it. You know what I mean? So it's not really about me. It's more about what the children want to do. So if they want to add something to the canvas, now I actually want to add something to it. You know?
So your kids get to be the directors of your art project?
My kids, any kids. As long as, like...
Oh, if there's like a kid around. They
like,
just...
if the kids want to just do art, like, let's just do art. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, like, my daughter, she's, like, more or less on it. She's like, I want to paint. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it's like when we did the barbecues last summer, the kids did the tie-dye shirts. They were out there spray painting with the guys. You know what I mean? Like, they had fun. And
that's really cool.
That was like, all right, now I got to do more of the art. Because that's what they want to do. It wasn't about me at that point.
And so now, and the art it sells?
You know, it's more of good incentive when someone buys a piece, you know?
Right.
So, like, more of the smaller pieces, the smaller canvases, I could give away if someone makes a full price purchase of whatever, you know what I mean? Merch.
I hear you.
They're actually more intrigued to, like, get the piece of merch because now they got a piece of art to hang up.
So you find like bundling these two things together is kind of giving you an edge in terms of getting more people invested.
Definitely.
And I see people wildly posting your canvases all over that they're hanging up.
I think we put out like 40 in a year.
I don't know how hard or easy that is, but it sounds like a good number.
40 canvases at all different sizes. I mean, it's some work, you know what I mean?
Do you think like a lot of the street, the folk that are currently tagging all over, like if they were to focus the energy on hustling canvases, would that be an interesting move?
Well, they could, but you know, it's the part where, you know, when they come for you because of what you did already. You know what I mean?
So you have to like literally switch up the entire persona for this.
It couldn't be under the same name and the same. Because if they come for you, they come for you, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a more complicated situation.
Yeah. Without talking no names or bringing up anybody, it's just... To me, I look at it as a tricky situation. I personally wouldn't do it. Because now when you made some money, now they want their reparations, right?
So they're gonna let you bubble a bit before they come.
In a sense. You know what I mean?
Right. And then, that makes sense. So you'd either have to, like, really reinvent yourself from scratch and then come at it completely different. So, like, any of your aliases and stuff now is not at all what you went by in the past type of thing.
It's like that or build a complete different brand.
Like, with the skill set.
With no identity to it, yeah?
And then run it through somebody else.
Or however which way you do it. You know what I mean?
I mean, Banksy does manage to sell a whole lot of art staying anonymous.
How anonymous is he, right?
I don't know. I literally don't know.
If you're working with the big art dealers for $1 million pieces, how anonymous are you?
That's a fair point.
So, that's whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, I ain't even trying to like talk or I mean on shout out banks, you know what I mean? Get your money, you know? I'm not trying to talk on anything, but I'm just saying like how far is anonymous?
I mean, most of the regular people don't know who he is, but I suppose the people of authority.
But regulators ain't regulars, so
facts.
We good.
So the people of authority, though, probably do know who he is if they want to come for him, and he's probably
essentially
whatever.
Essentially,
he's already dealt with it, I'm sure.
Essentially,
right. So that's the situation.
It's you know when certain people come to a point where their pieces are actually like art pieces and considered like that element of the world. Certain elements of that world won't even look at it as a crime.
Right. So basically, if it's going to bring tourism dollars, they'll look the other way. So the mural people get paid to go do some shit over there. And anyway.
You think it's all... Nah, you got to pay for that. Like, it's even in Montreal. We have a lot of murals up.
Right.
You think these guys are out there just doing that shit illegal?
No.
They know who these guys are. And so on and so forth. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys get grants and shit. Most of the murals
are commissioned from different places and whatnot.
Grants and commission and so on and so forth. They go on painting. Like, shout out, you know what I mean? TOS, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the outlaws, you know what I mean? Shout out the outlaws, you know what I mean? You got the outlaws to this shit, and then you got the people who ain't outlaws to this shit.
See, I mean, I've seen TOS's stuff all over. And, like, so in this case, you're talking the various crews that remain anonymous, do their things.
Just do it.
And create, like, really dope art around the city.
SNF, you know what I mean? Just go do your thing, you know what I mean? Just make things look pretty.
I got mad fascinated by that whole world, especially with the bike paths, because you don't really see it from the streets. But when you start taking the bike paths all over Montreal, it's like you unlock this entirely different world. And I'm willing to bet 90% of that bike path shit is not commissioned.
Off the love, off the strength.
It's gorgeous shit. Like
and they hit up spots where you're like, how?
Yo, I wildly like sometimes I just like want to get off and just start like filming everything, and because then you realize
definitely that's part of hip hop.
Around NDG though, you'll start to realize like some of the shit disappears. Some of it does, like that one building on Elmhurst that clearly nobody owns, that like nobody's dealing with, but like everything else is cleaned after a while.
It is what it is.
And it creates like this temporary error of some of this art. But it's, I don't know, I love the shit because it's like, to me, such a nifty subculture that I have nothing to do with outside of being a fan of. And it's just so hidden. It's just so nifty. I don't know.
There's a lot of more artsy spots. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm more involved and more like, also because I spend a lot of time in the truck, so like I see a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Where's like the nicest spots then?
In the east side,
yeah,
they have like a whole bunch on the east side. It's just like murals and throws and tags and like the whole collage of like the way it's set out. You know what I mean? You might have someone who had a commission wall that hit it up first, and then you just seen like the growth of everything and how like collaged together. That's the real art to it. You know what I mean?
So like the way it changes over time as more and more people add to it.
Yeah.
And
you can see like when paint peels and who uses what and what. You know what I mean? Like who's rocking the good paint and who's rocking the shit paint. You know what I mean? Like you could tell. You could tell who had the sprayers. Like it's just crazy. You know what I mean? And like not really on the west side, but more on the east side, they have more of those walls. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I appreciate that. Like I like the vandal part, but also like the people who do pieces. You know what I mean? Like I love that shit. Like growing up, people could turn like burners into pieces, like semi pieces. Like Macer. Macer's a dope dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Macer was like been kicking. You know what I mean? Been like crazy with it, but it's like you could always recognize who it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can. I am like very illiterate in this world. Like I just basically, I think it was Shvelly actually. It was Shvelly's interview, and he was talking about this whole subculture I didn't know existed.
For the graph?
Yeah. and I didn't know anything about it. And like dead ass, this whole interview process has just been that, like layers and layers of learning. And then I started noticing it, and then I started recognizing names, and then I started recognizing the names in places where like, hold up, you're all the way out here now. Like you start like seeing shit, and like, so for the last 2 years or so, I've been kind of like paying a lot more attention to it. But it went from being something I didn't know anything about at all to like,
My guy,
it's just to me this coolest shit.
I lived in a truck for 3.5 years, right? Like working, right? So like, I'm going back and forth working. I'm seeing all sorts of like Montreal artists, Nova Scotia, Vancouver. I'm seeing trains roll past me with Montreal names. I realize, you know what I mean? I go, yo, this shit's crazy. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Like, hip hop is like, it just travels.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's all part of hip hop. Like, once you start seeing that artwork, start seeing that artwork, if you don't recognize it with hip hop, you just have no concept to it all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Because that's what it comes down to.
Like
seeing the trains flow with the...
And just to understand the culture behind it too, at least for me. Like I had to talk to people who did it. Like Lush One was telling me about the LA version of it all, and then like different people tell me about their different cities. And like this next guy, AAB.
LA's a lot of gang shit with the graffiti.
Yo, he was telling me like
that's and you know they'll say they're the origins to it.
But it's like when I realized it's like there is like everyone seemed to imply that in all cases the writers were the scariest of the hip hop factions.
The most busiest.
Yeah.
The most busiest.
Yeah. But like they're also literally doing this.
The guys who did graffiti also did boosting.
Right.
So they always stayed the most fly.
Because you could buy your own paint anywhere.
No, but they also would boost their clothes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you boost in paint. That was easy. Bang.
No,
so I'm going to go get fresh. You know what I mean? Some people, calling no names, took it into a business. You know what I mean? How to supply the hood. Or what you need to take an order. You know what I mean?
There's a documentary I just watched on the Lowlifes where they like really broke this shit down into super detail on how it went down for the New York side of it all.
My man, you know what I mean? I could only speak on Montreal. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, and I've been in Polo. You know what I mean? And one man hit me up. And I got my whole Polo page, Instagram popping for real. One Polo head said, what, you wear Polo every day? I go, well, I wear my work uniform every day, but when outside of work, yeah, I mainly wear Polo or my brand. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was doing at the time, right? If you go back to my page, whenever the page got set up, that's when I met the man. And I just started posting Polo shit. I've been had that shit. Like, and boosters been come through with Polo. You know what I'm saying? So, like, been in that life, you know what I mean?
Are you going to Olivier's Low Life event that he's doing next week?
I seen it. I think I'm going to pull up. You know what I mean?
It feels like you would enjoy that.
Why not? You know what I mean? I'm trying something different. Hopefully it's something that no one else got on. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I mean? I got some joints, yeah. I mean, I got some joints just sitting there, you know what I mean?
I hear that. I mean, to me, again, even the fact, all of this is new to me. So, like, I like, literally be watching documentaries so I can follow the conversations and, like, catch up and understand that shit.
It's good for the culture because if you look in all the pictures and all the archives, someone got a piece of Polo on.
It's facts. And if you, like, when you're in Brooklyn,
doesn't even
today,
matter
right?
which coast you're on.
But I'm saying like right now, if you're in Brooklyn, everybody's got a Polo on. Like it's crazy how much low I saw.
Just Brooklyn, my guy. Go anywheres. Go anywheres across the coast. Go Mexico. Go London.
Right.
It's deep, bro. Everyone got the horse on, bro. it's a real deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big culture. You know what I mean? And people support it, and people hold salute to it because it's recognized everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just, yo, I got one piece. No, I got my style. You know what I mean? This what I got. This is my shit. This is the shit that I wanted to get.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we might have some pieces in common, right? But your pieces and the pieces that you got and I don't want the pieces that, you know what I mean, that you got. You probably don't want the pieces that I got.
So it's not it's not just to have it. It's because this is how
you
rep your style.
You have to have your style of the low. You can't just have everything. If you have everything, you're a cornball. No, for real. You can't just have everything. You gotta have what fits your style.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it ain't in your bag, you're fucked up. You could just go spend the bag on everything. Just have, I got everything. Okay. What, everything's your bag? Nah, because you don't have everything. You don't have the Indian heads. You know what I mean? You don't have the cookie joints. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have skis. You just gotta go with what you feel. You know what I mean? If you want bear joints, just all bear joints, different flavors. I just want sailor bears. You know what I mean? Get all the sailor bears. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just focus on your lane.
So it's literally just like everything else in hip hop except just within the low verse.
However, which way you want to see it, Pop.
I mean, the way you're describing it, it's like there's the subcultures within the low culture of within.
No. That's just the facts of this shit. Like, if you're gonna go for best dressed low, you best have your best low fit on.
Right.
Not everybody's low fit on. Your best low fit. You know what I mean? Right. That's what it comes down to. You don't just, I got with the mannequin hat on, so I'm good. Nah, it don't necessarily work like that, because we could all walk out the store looking like the mannequin.
Yeah, it really is. I got a whole bunch of layers. I hear, but it's like saying when people go, you don't want to be the off the rack guy.
Well, in a sense, right? Like, the way you piece your shit together might not be like, you might have a joint that came out this year that went with 4 other layers that was, you know what I mean? From 2010 or 2002, and you built up the fucking layers to where the shit is fucking astronomical. Like, you have a fucking cowboy joint where you only, and you mix it with the Aztec. You have to have knowledge in your low to do that. You can't just do that off the rip. You wouldn't even know how to do it off the rip.
Bro, I don't even know what you said fully there.
Oh, shit.
No, it's good. It's good. Because, all the low heads are going to follow it, but it actually adds to your point. The fact that I do not know what an Aztec mixed with this, and I could not make this pairing because I don't know what the fuck I would just look at the shit and be like, okay. It just goes to add to your point of the depth of the culture of it. And you're not the first person I met, right? Like, Funk will be really like that.
No, Funk, I'll tell you right now, Funk will probably school me, and he will school me on a couple of joints. I won't even lie to you. Like, I go into it, but I'm like dope boy go into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Funk is more or less the history. Funk Low he could break, he studied this shit more or less. I didn't study this shit. I am what I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we've been buying low since a kid. You know what I mean? All the brands, you know what I mean? Yeah. Any of the street brands we got on. But anytime you want to get fresh, that one shirt or that one pair of pants, you know what I mean? Just to stand out, you hit the bay up right quick. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, as I think that people don't actually know a lot of the culture that they're emulating today. And that's what a lot of people are doing, is emulating it. As I understand it, Low is now re-releasing a bunch of older cuts and shit.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of stuff happening where people are coming into it now, probably with the I could just buy it mentality. But there is this history because, you start talking to people.
Again, they can buy in because, you know what I mean, there's people who got vintage pieces.
Right.
So now, people who got vintage pieces and they're on their resale game, right? So now they gave these other dudes a lane, right? So now they'll roll up on you, and it's like, yeah, you got a rugby that's from like, you know what I mean, like 96 or something, but this shit's washed out, let's be honest. You know what I mean? It's washed out.
Right.
Can you really wear it?
So it's really like, because like when you earn it or you get it in a particular way, like it really is.
It has to be like no bleeds, no.
Or this is about like just having the pristine level of.
Here the lingo I'm giving to you: no bleeds and no eats.
I don't know what that means.
No bleeds and no eats. If it ain't got no bleeds and no eats and the shit is pristine, and we're talking about like a 9.5 out of 10,
right?
You good. But bleeds is like if the ink was bleeding in certain joints and like you didn't take care of it when you were washing it. So like certain inks bled into the joint. The bleeds is no good. The eats is like when you look at the cuffs of the joint or at the bottom and you see it like it's all ripped up and like turned all up and shit. That's the bleeds and the eats. So if you got bleeds and eats, you can't rate it 9 or up. You know what I mean? So like it might be a piece of a certain era, but it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. So that just because
nobody's selling the vintage that are 9s. Is what you're saying.
They do, but them shits is cheap. Just like $85. But like me personally, because I do like a lot of hand stitching shit, so I'll buy them shits and cut them up for my hand stitching shit. You know what I mean? And like I try to sell them pants for like $200. Like because I usually take the shirts and mix them with the pants. You know what I mean?
Does that work?
I got some sales already.
It sounds like it's hard.
No, because I don't mind hand stitching.
In like a cool way. Because like I feel like designer jeans are really
flying. They're definitely one-on-ones. Everyone who gets them, they're one-on-ones.
That shit's cool.
They're one-on-ones. So like, I do like Levi's joints. I remix Levi's joints. I don't do those for 2 beans, right? But like the polo joints are usually about 2 beans because what I have to pay for the shirt and the cost of the pants and
right.
But whatever, right? But yeah.
So you really be just doing everything and you're pushing the music.
My God, if I stop now, right? Just stop and chill. We get old way fast.
That's a fact.
We get old way fast. Like I'm 38, I'll be 39 this year, God willing. And I know if I stop, I'm just gonna get old. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get old fast. I want to walk down on it. You know what I mean? I want to walk down on my age and feel comfortable and know I gave everything to the end. You know what I mean? Like every step I do.
I feel that heavy.
Yeah.
I look at it like retirement kills people more than it doesn't.
Yeah, and literally because on the job, I've met a lot of people who's in my profession, and they're like, "Yo, as soon as I got off the truck, back problems, I couldn't walk. Like they were done." You know what I mean? I got ladies who tell me, "Yo, my husband did that for years, and soon he was done. He was done." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could imagine like, when you gotta work, your body at like a deeper
You're
level.
just giving like lifting pianos and
that's crazy.
Like crazy shit. Word. Like, and I do this, and yo, for real, I'm 165 pounds, right? And like on my best, I'm like 172.
Right.
Right. And I'm lifting pianos and all that.
That's crazy.
With just me and my man, just one bow. You know what I mean? We're lifting pianos. We do what we got to do. Anything like big, like anything. You know what I mean? And then I go, I heard about these ladies saying, I didn't hear about it. They told me. You know what I mean? My husband done died. Once he gave up and retired, 67, whatever, he done died 2 years after. Like his body just, that's why I just feel like I just got to get this extra push in everything I do. So like even if I'm not doing moving, I still got the merch. Right?
That's it.
I got 6 kids. My kids are going to have kids. I gotta literally fill my day out with filling my day up. You know what I mean?
I do. I feel that, and it's like, cause I feel like I got missions in life, so I can stay motivated.
And you're gonna conquer them too because you're around positive people.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I watch your circle, bro. Yeah. Not like I'm watching you like that, but I watch your circle, right? And I go, yo, this guy. That's why you're busting the way you're busting. You're doing your thing. I mean, everyone's clapping around you, bro. When people's clapping around you, it starts making it easier. You understand? When people ain't clapping around you, now you're fighting. Now you're fighting around that shit. Like, why the fuck ain't people clapping? But you got that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that, so they struggle with that shit. Think about that.
It's back to that ego thing. I had to work real hard on making my ego get not in the way.
But do you think just the crowd presence, you know what I mean? All the people you had, all the people you met, just basically in the past 2 years, that every time you see them, they're patting you on your back.
I think that's a lot to do with
not your ego. A lot
of things. That's what I'm saying. I got rid of my ego.
But that wasn't about your ego. That was people seeing your self-growth.
I think it's also contributing to the bigger culture. Like, since anybody's met me, since that, like, I caught, like, that CY show. That was last April. That's when, like, to me, April 2nd, like, everything opened again. As of that point, I'd already been doing this for a minute. I probably interviewed by the time that I half that roster, like, so in a lot of ways, I think this has done more for me to get that kind of level of love than anything I could have done with music. In the same way, I think you're giving us a streetwear brand back. Believe it or not, that's providing us with something because it gives us a unity point that adds more to the bigger picture.
I don't want to validate nobody. You know what I mean? I'm validating myself in self. You know what I mean?
Right.
I come out, I support. That's how I'm validating myself. But I tell my guys, yo, pull up early. We don't know who's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because that first guy to go on, we don't know when we're going on. We want that same guy to be there.
Facts.
Clapping when we're going on. That's what I tell everybody that I book with me.
I mean, we try to pull up early just on some.
That's what we try to do, as early as we could possibly get there.
It's a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
I can go on from. I've been writing about that a bit because, like, deadass, I think, so, like, the quick version is, if your name's on a flyer, you agree to help make that show as successful as possible. I accept the fact that people have kids and lives and that there will always be things. But
definitely.
I think you shouldn't agree to do a show you can't really commit to doing, which to me includes going to soundcheck and sticking around.
Okay, the one thing about soundcheck, what I did realize in this city, you're pulling up to soundcheck and the DJ's only there at 15 minutes before the doors open.
That's a big conversation, but
right. So therefore,
I've done both versions.
I don't even worry about soundcheck because I don't have no backs playing.
So here's the one thing I
have
say
no
about
backs playing.
soundcheck.
I'm going in heavy.
I've
whole
seen
team's
it
going
happen,
in heavy.
and I saw it happen recently where man skipped soundcheck, and there was a problem with his files.
Yes,
Shit.
we've been through that. Yes,
and so that's the
even
only
with us
it's
personally.
The only reason, if nothing else, at least if you pull up,
we sent the music. We've been through all this in the past year, right? Yeah. I'm just talking about Regulators ourselves, right? We sent the music beforehand. We got it. If we didn't get it, da 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 da. We learned always having your music on a USB, ready to go, in MP3 form, not a wave, will get you clear.
Yeah, waves are too big.
Yes, in an MP3 form.
Waves will give the Google file sharing message.
Exactly. So if you pull up like that.
Also have the backup USB.
That's what I'm saying. I pull up with my backup USB with everything in the MP3 form, and I tell them, don't plug it in to the motherboard. Plug it into your fucking laptop. Once you plug it into your laptop, we're good to go. Don't tell me nothing about, I'm not reading off the motherboard. I don't want to hear that. Plug it into your, you know what I mean?
I do. Good to go. Yo, what's crazy is just on that, sometimes I'll number my files like they tell me to, and then somehow it gets into the DJ program and it's not in the right order, and I don't know how that happens. But, like, anyway, my whole thoughts on soundcheck are, I do think the DJs need to come early. Anyway, depends on the show. Certain shows, the same DJ will pull up real early. Certain shows, the same DJ will not, because the certain shows that they know about. Anyway, I don't know how to have this conversation on camera right now.
It's happening. It's happening.
I meant, like, with like, the reality is certain promoters come late and certain promoters don't, and it's highly what it is, and it's related all love to the promoters. So, like, I've talked to certain DJs who are like, why am I going to pull up an hour early and then nobody's here to even give me instructions? And so it gets tied into all of that shit. Either way, soundcheck doesn't work unless everybody comes to soundcheck. It's just a weird, like, it's a philosophy question to me. Like, does it even make sense if 5 of 10 people do soundcheck?
Well, it depends, right? It's who's the closer.
Yeah, that guy needs to do soundcheck.
Because who's running up to closing, right? If you're just getting your shit off and you understand your lane, I'm an opener, I'm this level, that level. Because understand timing, right? When the spots actually fill up. Because that's one thing I started watching. I know when I want to go on. I know when I want my team to go on.
Right.
I don't even want to be at closing.
Nobody want to be closing. I haven't wanted to close.
I'm done with closing.
Nobody want to be on past midnight.
I mean, I will take a closer and be the headliner.
That's different.
We've had that 2 times already, right? And it's been nice. You know what I mean?
The problem is that after Metros close, half your crowd is dipping pretty much every fucking time.
Thank you very much.
Back in the day when I used to perform, and I've, like, had moments where I've been like, oh, we're going to put Holden first. And I'm like, bro, put me first, please. Let me open your fucking show. Not fully open.
You want to be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm telling you.
3rd's a gamble. I've watched a lot of these shows. So somewhere between 2nd and 3rd is when the weed smokers start to go outside. And that's when you start to see this trickle effect of in and out.
If you got pulled, right? We've went 3rd, right? We went 3rd and busted so hard, all the weed smokers and everybody went out. So no one will book us 3rd again. Word. I've already learned that.
Right.
Right? Now, when I say 4th, 5th, or 6th, it's about when does that person want to go on before you. It all depends on, you know what I mean? We've waited it out. I'm telling you, we waited it out some nights. We waited out, and we went on like 9th. And we said, yo, now we're pissed. You know what I mean? From the list we got, now we're going on 9th because people already know. Once we go on, people's going outside. They got to smoke. They got to drink. The whole crowd goes outside. And we don't do that on purpose, but it's learning the strategies to this shit.
Yeah.
So when people are booking shows, they're watching their strategy. You understand? They want to have it to the full capacity that they can have it at. You know what I mean?
I wish all the promoters put that much thought into it.
It is.
I don't believe that all the promoters put that much thought into it.
My guy, I just sit back. But in 1 year, I watch it all and I go, nice.
But I do believe that the ones that really pay attention to this shit do put some real effort into that.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Everyone's investing into their career at this point. I mean, whether we're pulling up and doing a free performance, or we're paying for it, or we're all investing. Every night we go out, every time we hit the studio, anything, we're investing into our career.
Right.
Right? So now we go out there and we do this, right? And we go, oh, fuck, I could have did better. Because we all do that. I know I nitpick at my performances to the point where I just have to do my own. I don't even want to hit up my brethrens and be like, yo, I don't fuck what you guys did. I just got to worry on self at this point.
Right.
I fucked up on this bar. I took a breath here when I shouldn't have. Like, I'm one of those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I watch all them footages after.
Like, yeah, like I'm just going through it all.
We capture the footage, and
then
then
like I'm showing my lady, I'm like, yo, Carm, yo, look. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really going through it, and she got the footage. I'm like, you see right there, I shouldn't have fucked up. You know what I mean? But again, I'm worried about self at this point.
Right.
Which everybody should. To give their best foot forward.
Yeah, I mean,
it's those little points, bro. You're gonna be the best you by watching your footage.
And no one else is really gonna chop your footage up and make good promo videos for you.
They'll tell you shit, but they won't give you the real.
No, I mean, I have a few people.
I didn't really like that song. What didn't you like about that song?
They don't know. They don't know how to articulate it.
What didn't you like about that song? You didn't like the whole fucking song?
I go through something. I go through where I'll finish a set and get told every one of the songs I performed is somebody's favorite, and it's always different. It's never like I'll be like, yo, I'll have to lose weight, but fuck Mary. Mary's so good, fuck lose weight. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. And it's so split. Like, people act like, oh, you should no. People are indecisive. If I were to, I don't know. But everything I perform, somebody likes. Everything, you just gotta focus on who likes it. I'm learning that maybe certain demographics might fuck with certain sounds I do better than other sounds I do.
Well, it's mainly like, again, now when I'm booking the shows, this is what Jimmy told me. You know what I mean? Watch who's on the playlist. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta start asking these questions before you're just saying, yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm like, all right. I mean, I kind of don't give two fucks.
Well,
because I'm going to kill it. Mass is going in to kill it. Snake's going in to kill it.
I faced a point with that conversation where we started getting feedback from our people where, and this isn't the rappers, we're talking the fans. Okay. And their feedback, so this matters because they're the fans, right? Was, yo, it's the same people on the same cards every time. Unfortunately, I've seen this show already. I could tell you what everyone's going to perform. I don't feel it tonight. And it made me go, oh, I need to change it up more. So it's not so much that it's an issue with, but if like
to blend.
Yeah, so like it can't just be like, I'm trying even with the NAR shits. Like, I brought in this girl with a band. Because like, yo, I want people to know that, like, okay, I'll give you something new. I'll give you something else. That's why like J Noir is there this time. Or maybe he's not. He's supposed to confirm it. He was supposed to be on, but family shits. Anyway, we start hitting up different people because end of the day, like, I don't want to, I already have to be, like, no offense, but I already have to have Smoking Ink, Showbiz, Willie, like, all these people already all have to be there.
Kill team.
It's what it is. So when you already have that many people regularly coming through, I can't then have the same openers I've been with at every fucking Blue Dog show without no variety, because then, you know, it's the same show. That's the real feedback I think I learned over it. And it wasn't about me. But when I go to some other show where I don't know anybody on the flyer, I actually walk out with new fans. And when I go to a show where, like, yo, I already met all the girlfriends and I already met all the homies and, like, everybody already, like, it's not that it's bad, but it feels more like going to the club on a Friday night and rapping than it feels like 100% expanding to the fullest of my career potential, which makes me in some environments want to come back more as the fan in the audience where I can just support people more and perform less at those so I can go find newer places to perform.
You know, again, getting love where you come from, you know, and doing your due diligence in the city is always going to be one thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of comedians, a lot of actors, and so on and so forth, they try their traits in small venues over and over again, 1,000 times over and over again, right? What makes this any different?
It's not.
It's not.
There's
no difference.
There needs to be a blend of it, is what
Definitely,
I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? Tapping in, contacting other artists, French artists, Arabic artists, people who's just willing to work, bro.
Yo, you said French artists is a big point. I don't really see enough effort on our end to bring the French shoutout.
I'm trying. I'm gonna try. Like I got one show set up for April 15th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The episode. You know what I mean? Number 1, sport of hip hop. Trying to get that going. If that works fully, my guy, I'm going to show you the proper expansion of bringing everyone together. You understand? But on a cool vibe. You know what I mean? On a cool vibe. If everyone's bars and sound could work together, it's going to be on the episodes. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the sport of hip hop, man. So I'm trying. You know, the same way you're trying your NARS, right?
Yeah.
Different venues. Where can we set up? Or where can we make the next spot popping that we don't have to say, oh, we at Blue Dog again. We at Belmont. We at, you know what I mean?
Because, like, don't get me wrong.
Let's build.
I don't want to, like, leave it. I'm just saying.
I'm not leaving it.
That's not the goal. It's not about leaving it. It's about, I want to see, like, a cycle of different things.
I definitely agree with you. And I really feel Blue Dogs is a good stepping stone. Great. You know how much people you bring through there? And they're like, wow, this is really going on. Yeah, it's going on right here. And imagine, I only been there a year doing it consistently, right? For all the people who's been doing it at that same spot.
Yeah, it's basically been.
And imagine their growth and everything that they've gotten just off going there as much as they could.
And, like, I think Blue Dog is, like, where a lot of things need to keep happening. I just think that...
Belmont?
No, but...
the whole strip, bro.
I'm going to say...
Strip.
My point is we need to not just be on Saint Laurent. Honestly, that's my biggest issue.
No.
So when I see, like, other parts of town popping off a bit, it kind of makes me excited.
Okay, look, Bay Matthew.
That shit's hard.
I went over there.
That shit's hard, though.
Chef Rambo brought me over there for a show. I said, yo. When I seen that venue, I said, this is the next spot I want to be.
I got to perform at a rave there.
Yeah?
Like, freestyling over the rave, bro. They had this Stargate ass set up on the stage and shit. Bro, it's the coolest shit ever.
Upstairs,
yeah,
in
the swimming pool.
Yeah,
I got to freestyle on the pool part, and then they have another room downstairs.
Dope.
That's like fucking crazy. Yo,
dope. You see, Bay Matthew, bro. I hear what you're saying. You got to branch out.
So it's like, but I also want Blue Dog because personally, it's like where I kind of like pulling up.
Yeah, no, it's the whole strip vibe though. It's the strip. It's Saint Laurent's the whole vibe. You know what I mean? When they have the windows open and they have the patio out front.
Yo, MCO just made a really good fucking point where it is maybe hard at Blue Dog. Is that we need the other pillars of hip hop involved in shows more. Where we do have DJs and we do have artists, there is something to be said about. I believe the Drug Profit show is gonna have live painting. And live painting and having that kind of element added, whether it's graph or just painting.
They brought it to the Regulators barbecue, I can't lie. And the kids love it.
It's, my first ever show ever that I
Everybody
performed.
loves the live art.
Bro,
I've incorporated it so much into my own brand that...
Like, it's just like, my first ever show, there was this chick, Sharon Epic, and she used to go to all the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And she would paint the people on the stage as they were performing. So there's this one picture, and there's this little character, and it's me. And you could tell it's me if you know me. And it still kind of looked like me when I was doing my spiky hair shit. And, like, for my life, that show is extra special because there was live painting. And, like, in a sense, it has that thing. But really, we all don't have dancers. And dancing is what we really missing at this shit.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Mass has been saying. He's like, that's why Mass went to the whole hands free. He has the headset because he wants to more interact with the crowd.
I like it. I do like it.
Like he's like, yo, what is this? We got to be stuck on the mic. We can't. No, hands free. You know what I mean? Salute Mass. You know what I mean? You gotta take chances. Gotta take chances. You gotta be. We're all taking chances every single day.
Facts. I mean, we put what you put your time into. If you value time at money,
you put your time into
is like, I look at it like, yo, when people talk about costs, I like to put my time at 25 to 30 an hour, and then calculate cost with time included, because that's when you start to really see the cost of things. Because if not, that time you could have gone and hustled that kind of money. So therefore, if you're doing housework, that has a cost attached to it that most people don't ever plan for, which is the hidden cost of owning houses, in my opinion. Like, definitely it's included in some of that shit. Or it's how you're supposed to, like, structure a business, right? Because one day
self-worth.
But also, let's say you're mad successful. Now you have to replace literally yourself. That's a whole you're doing roles. So, like, the part where you do your own customer service and answer, that's a job somebody gonna do one day. And so if you don't know how much time it takes and how much, like, it's really just about good project management, I think, to like value time as money, so that you equate time appropriately. I'm garbage at it in my personal life, but at a conceptual level, I totally get the shit. And it's really helped me pursue passion projects that are going to have long-term ROI rather than short-term ROI.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, that's like, you know what I mean? That's, a lot of people ain't even thinking about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of their energy is more of like public perception, right?
I'm just trying to write a book one day. I got it in my head.
Yo, bro, you can start writing a book right now. Like, you're like one day.
I'm doing, no, because I want to write a particular book that's based on Montreal hip-hop history. And this interview is part of the capturing of the knowledge that so in a sense, I am. But if you look at this shit, it comes with years and years and years of learning. Or you can't be I can't be talking. I'm not qualified. So I have to talk to person after person after person and get the story, so I can make one of them fucking boards one day and really do the due diligence, etc.
Crazy. This guy wants
then I could write because I want to do that for Montreal English hip hop history, because I think it's so interesting. And the more I do this, the more, like, I didn't even know Jimmy D moved like that back in the day. Like, I didn't know how involved he is. He's this guy that appeared one day. Like, I know a bit, but he appeared one day in my life, right? Yeah. I don't know who he is because he's Jimmy D. Nicholas Craven said, you better know who the fuck he is. He's somebody you should have on your show. It's a fact. We'll do that soon. And, like, all of that.
Bomb, Jimmy D.
But then the more I hear about Jimmy D, the more illustrious he becomes as this character, because he does come up and people do talk about him, and you start hearing. So it's like people are like, people's like Pokemon.
He is, no pun intended. He is the bridge in a lot of gap, a lot of shit.
I believe that.
Tell you that right now.
I think
on West Side English Anglophone, you got to come across Jimmy D. You know what I mean? As well as you're coming across Regulators and all that. You know what I mean? It's all collective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all a collective. But you can't bring up West Side Anglophone without saying Jimmy D. That's just bottom line. It goes with the conversation. I want someone to say, no, of course you can. No, you can't.
You know what's wild is his name hasn't come up enough then. That's another way to put it. I'm telling you.
However, you know what I mean? The balance to the joint, right?
Because that's where, like, I get curious. It's like you hear snippets, and then everyone's got their version and how they see it. So it's
my guy, he got a fan base. You know what I mean? He got so much love here that he got a fan base elsewhere. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Where if you don't got love where you come from, then you ain't gonna bust.
Right.
Because you got love on West Side, you got love on East Side, you got love North Shore, South Shore. Name it. Jimmy got love right here in the city. And I'm unbiased with this shit. You know what I mean? Like Blicky got love right here in the city. The fact that Blicky's out there in Toronto and all that, you got love right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right here. He's good. And that's why he's good elsewhere. Because right here in his city, he's good.
Right.
Shabb, you know what I mean? He's good right here. He's good to go elsewhere. You know what I mean?
So basically, you can't run from your home. You have to be good at home.
Basically, you shouldn't be running from your home.
And if you look at Husser, he's so good that...
Oh. Hold on. Salute Husser. I forgot. I've been name dropping probably the whole time.
Easy LD and
whole bunch of rappers.
Deep.
Husser, baby.
No, Husser, because based on what you're saying, Husser's so good. He throwing charity events in the hood, putting on for everyone.
Oh my fuck. Yo, this guy goes across Canada doing basketball tournaments.
It's crazy to see what he's up to.
He's stupid with it.
He's stupid.
Yo, shout out Nate. You know what I mean?
I think the fact that it's so focused on community stuff, and it's sincere. Like, he just really be trying to give back on some real shit, and that to me is a lot of what made me get into his music, to be honest. But
word.
And I think that's what makes it where, like, who can say bad about him right now? What are you gonna say?
Like, it's promote positivity, B. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if it's not your bag, but you could promote it.
Facts.
You could promote it. You could say, yo, he's getting it. It has nothing to do with it. Ain't taking nothing from me. Taking nothing from you or anybody out there to say, yo, that guy's getting it. Yo, Brooks get him.
That was hard.
Brooks get him's hurting him. Yo, she's hurting him hard.
I met her the other night. She killed that set, and then I saw that other verse she did. Otherwise, I didn't know who she was before that.
G, like, yo, it takes nothing from you to shout out people. You know what I mean? Brooks is getting them. You know what I mean?
But she is.
Word. You know what I mean? Like, Batty.
I've seen Batty, yeah.
I seen Batty perform up there at Belmont. She's getting them.
Fact, yo,
hard. It's just hard. It's just nice.
When you bring up people like Batty, it's not that she's getting him. She's a baddie coming with a bunch of baddies to the front of the stage when she's on stage. It's a whole experience when some of these girls be up. Like this Bird 2 Times girl.
All right, what about Chung?
Yeah, I like Chung a lot.
Chung? Chung's cooking him. Chung's cooking him.
But Chung be like on that, like.
Chung's cooking him.
She
got bars.
But it's more than the bars, right? Because for me, it's the delivery. It's the nonchalance that she dances on that beat. Like, she really has that.
It's easy to her.
But, like, you can just tell, like, there's a finesse. Nice. Like, almost like she doesn't give a fuck what you think at a deeper level.
That's what makes it nice. That's
I love that shit.
That Foxy Brown shit. You know what I mean? I'm giving to you what I'm giving to you.
And I think she got a vibe to it.
Montreal's popping, bro.
I feel like...
Come.
Absolutely.
From Montreal?
Absolutely.
Montreal.
Bro, yo, Skin Deep's over here.
Skin Deep,
fucking
my guy. Can I get a beat, bro? You got my email, bro. Come on, Skin Deep. We clap up for Skin Deep. Come on,
this man be like crushing the podcasting game, the toy game, the fucking everything game. He be doing all kinds of shit out there. There you go. And like, he said, yes, you can.
Bang, bang.
And like, I fucks with it all. I'm working on some right now. That's lit. I like the idea of somebody working on beats while the podcast on. That's a hard idea.
Dog. We're out here cooking, dog. This is a good fucking interview. Thank you for inviting me up here, bro.
Facts.
Like,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro.
No, I mean, for me, like I said, I don't know a lot of things. And so, like, I feel like just the amount of knowledge you gave me in terms of the history, your experiences,
if anybody,
all of that shit,
if
it's
anybody
so valuable.
wants to call me out and say I'm wrong on anything, it's cool because that's their opinion, right? Because I know I got my truth. And anything I gave you right now is truthful.
There is one time that I did get a phone call after the interview to get it fact checked. I'm not gonna say names, but there is a 1-2 people who is not afraid to be like, let me correct the history on that shit. I'm like, say a word.
No problem. And anything on my joint,
I don't believe that's gonna happen here.
No. If anything on my joint, if people want to fact check anything, I'm down to do a part 2 to this joint.
Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 because let's say a year from now, you're going to have done so much more shit. Dead ass.
Gee, this is light work, bro.
Because you guys but like, look, the people who really move across a year, right? Like, I'm sure by this time next year alone, you're going to have just done that many more shows, had that many more experiences.
You want to hear the crazy part? In the whole time of last year, right? With just the shows we have booked and the shows we did, We already did 66% of the shows that we did in only 3 months. From what I have booked and what we did last year.
So you already leveled up.
I'm already up.
You guys got like some like good live performance joints. I don't know how else to put it. Like I haven't really heard. I haven't ever really sat there and bumped it. Right? Like it's not like I've really.
No, because we didn't release it. You know? That's why, right?
So it's like this. It's a crazy experience because everyone else's music, I can go listen to, but if I want to hear that, Fred,
cops rush. Actually, only way I bust bread.
I'm just like, if I want to hear that shit, I gotta go to the show. Like, yo, I never really had that experience before where I really wanted to bump somebody's joint. And it's literally the only way I can hear it is to go to the show because the shit's not out.
Because this is the Barry Gordy flow. You gotta test the shit.
I just never did none of that shit. I just walked in with shit.
Barry Gordy flow.
Shit, Lose Weight came out in 2020.
Yeah?
There's no fucking... It was the middle of COVID and shit. So it was back when, like, when you're filming music video, I shot it by myself because there was, like, middle of COVID and shit. And then what are you gonna do? Like, there was no shows. There was, like, I did perform it, I guess, a 1-2 time, but then I performed it and it was like, oh fuck, people be saying that shit to me everywhere I go. But that shit's a 2-year-old track for me, like, you know, like it's a crazy idea that like you're at that. So like it's only recently, actually, the shit I got with Skin Deep is like one of the first joints I ever really tried performing in that phase of it.
That same track that you're referencing right now, right? Is like 5 years old right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a good
5 years old. Though. Me and Master, we've been had that.
It's a good song. I should get stuck in my head.
We've been had that in the back. You know what I mean? That's like 4 or 5 years old right now.
Yo, it goes to say a lot about songs though. Sometimes people be worried a hell of a lot about when a song come out.
When it busts, it busts.
It could come out, and especially in this era, motherfuckers will be like, "Bro, I don't give a shit if it dropped in 1996. It's my fucking joint now."
When that shit knock, bro. Like literally, we do our whole set, and we see the whole crowd like
getting anxious for it.
They want that one track. You know what I mean?
No, I've dead ass.
Like literally, we want to dead that track.
You can't. I don't think you can.
We can't.
I didn't perform
because we didn't release it yet. Once we release it,
no,
then perform it for a year.
Yeah.
Then we could dead it.
Maybe.
But we haven't even released it yet.
Cause yo, even then, man, you're gonna have people walk up to you and be like,
"Cops riding, only way, niggas stay jazzed up like Stockton." Yo, niggas go crazy for that one.
Bro, I get it. I know I didn't perform Lose Weight one time, and the promoter was so disappointed in me. He was like, "I just wanted to see it," and I'm like, "I mean, I'm just trying to prove I got other joints." And he's like, "Lose weight, bro."
Yeah, bro.
And I'm like,
Like honestly, the ADHD for Chrome.
Yeah, that shit.
When he does that one, I'm like, yeah.
Shout out Audiophile.
When he comes in with that one, let's go. Oh, okay, he's in his bag because it's getting better and better each performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chris is on it. I like that new one we got. That's gonna be my new favorite one that we perform. I don't know if you were at the Killer pre-show. That's basically the only time we did it. We'll inevitably do it again. I'm sure. Yeah, whenever. I think we did it at the Jeru show.
Well, he rushed the stage.
Chris came on, and then the second joint we did. That's my new favorite song from him. Yeah, I should just. Chris got the line, trying to Pokeball a vibe. And I'm like, that's the hardest bar for this era. Because Pokeball is like catch a vibe.
Yeah.
And it just taps in it. Because everybody plays. Yo, you go young. People like Pokemon. I don't care who you is. We all grew up on that shit. You may have just missed it. But broski, like Pokemon be heavy in the culture.
Yeah, I'm original. Like my last, before I jump off the porch, right? My last grip of childhood was Pogs.
Pogs is fun.
And the original Power Rangers. Because right after that, like I jumped off the porch.
That's fair.
Right after that, so it was like 97.
But I definitely
98.
Yeah, I saw you at the Paul Wall show. You had at Energy Man. Yo, you were there, audiophile? That's lit. I had no idea.
Paul Wall?
Yeah, he was at the Paul Wall show. If I met you, my bad. I did not recognize you. That happened. Going in that night. But I know audiophile from like I've seen him on Twitch a whole bunch. But yo, that Pokeball of vibe thing, yo, I just pictured a merch, bro. It's a Pokeball and it just says a vibe. That's gonna sell, bro. It's done and it's attached to the song. It's over. I just see the opportunity in that shit.
At Jeru's show, right?
We performed it at Jeru.
Did you see his merch?
Yeah,
I loved it. It
was nice.
The Nintendo controller, playing yourself.
Yeah, I really liked it. And he had it on it the next night. I mean, it's like he really knows what the fuck is up with it. But yeah, it is 10:30, I guess, eh? But
is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck, we really did that.
Yeah, it's 3 hours now. We've been live for 3 hours.
Oh, shit.
So, yo, I appreciate you coming through. It seems like it's a good plan.
We'll definitely do a part 2.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Peace and love. You know what I mean?
Got to do the whole wrap-up thing. So, thank y'all for coming through. All of you watching that pulled up for it. Appreciate every one of you. I don't even know it was on Facebook. I didn't check the live ones. You can cop the merch. If you haven't seen the green joints yet, they're fucking hard. They're really. Chris is obsessed with his one. I'm telling you.
You're getting yours. Don't worry. My bad, my guy. I meant to bring it. I'm not even
stressing it. But I was just plugging it because Chris
no
is
doubt,
G. And then, yo, if you fucks what we do and you're watching this in the future, make sure to subscribe, like, and all that shit. And then patreon.com/behindthatsuit. I know I forgot to update the ticker and it says
pickles or no pickles.
But you can fucking go to patreon.com/behindthatsuit and show love there. And if you do want that pickle merch, pro, anti-pickle, and we got a third one coming. That's like a blend of the two for you pickles. Undecided fuckers out there. Y'all could, like, get your appropriate pickle clothing items in the future. And I think that's about it. Make sure you follow 730. His Insta is going to be
Landmine Visionary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And check me out at Regulators MTL.
Facts. And you get some entertaining ass content there. This man is not afraid to be himself and it's worth following. And I think that's about it. So I appreciate everyone out there. Live long and prosper, everyone. And now I'm going to go.